What up, you guys? So, I want to talk about some of the words people use to limit themselves, and the number one, the two biggest catchphrases people use to put a block on their potential is "it's hard" and "yeah, but." You know what I mean? Someone's trying to encourage you to do better, or telling you that you have the ability to do better, and you're like, "Yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but this, yeah, but that." You know what I mean? And yeah, but I can't because it's hard because this. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if it's hard. What matters is, do you want it? Everything that's worth your time is hard. It's supposed to be. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be hard. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're jumping into this live, what up, Keith? If you happen to see a screenshot on this live, it's somebody's Instagram. His name is Gary V. Yo, he's the biggest lesson I learned from this dude is how to stop complaining, because I complained a lot. And I thought the circumstance needed to change in order for me to be happy. Nah, I needed to learn, find a way to have gratitude, find something to be thankful for. You know what I mean? Because people that complain, the only difference between someone that complains and someone that doesn't, there's only one thing that differentiates the two. The person who's always complaining, their focus is different. Their focus is on the things that they're ungrateful for. The person that's grateful and has gratitude and they're always smiling, they only focus on things that they're excited about, or things that they're looking forward to, things that they already have. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so I want to talk about things that limit people. It's hard and yeah, but you got to stop saying those words, because those words are preventing you from getting to where you want to be. The biggest problem you ever had in life is not the obstacles you face. The biggest problem you ever had is the doubt in your mind, in your own mind, that tells you that you can't do something. You're your biggest enemy. I don't even think your biggest problem is the devil. For you religious people, you think the devil's kicking your ass lately. It's not even him, because the devil could only use what you give him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I had a situation where every time my roommate was like deceived or whatever, he would come to me with a smile on his face like, "Yo, man, the devil's a liar." And it's like, bruh, don't let the devil lie to you then. You know what I'm saying? You know he's a liar, right? Stop hanging out with him. Stop listening to what he has to say. Stop, you know what I'm saying? Stop subscribing to that, like, that indoctrination, that mindset. You know what I mean? So, of just, I don't know, man, expectation, like, expectations make people act crazy. But getting back on subject, right? There's things that you want to do, but for as long as you're saying, yeah, but what about this? What if I fail? Doesn't matter. It's better to risk than to regret. It's way better to risk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really believe for anybody under 30, under 35, I think this is the time to have high risk behavior. This is the time to, like, risk it all. Like, go live in Japan. Like, go visit foreign places. Go do some random shit that makes no sense to society. Why not? Because when you're 55, like, there's things tying you down. You probably have kids now if you're 55. You probably have things that are preventing you from visiting exotic islands and stuff. And everybody's like, yeah, but what if I start up this business and I fail? Yeah, but what if I do this and I don't get success? Yeah, but, you know what I mean? Or here's a common one. You don't know what it's like to be me. You don't know what it's like to be failing all the time. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I came from. And trying to get me to relate to your story. Here's the thing, bro. You hate your story. Why are you trying to get people to relate to the story that you hate? You don't even like your story. Why not rewrite the script? You know what I'm saying? Like, you are a script writer. If you don't like the story, then just scrap it. Write a new one. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't even got to scrap it. You could just, you write the next line, right? And let the next line be something you look forward to. You know what I'm saying? You're the author of your own story. You know what I'm saying? If you think circumstance is the reason why you can't excel, do you know that 95% of the most successful people, they came from mediocrity, just like you? They came from a mediocre existence. They came from places that, you know what I'm saying, probably less than you. And there was no excuse for why they couldn't achieve. Here's the only thing that this makes people different. On one side, on one side, there's two sides of the fence, right? Both people have the same exact story. They're both a male, right? They're both, let's say, 34 years old. One is super massively successful, and then the other one's dwelling and complaining. They both had alcoholic step parents. They both been abused. They both been molested, maybe. They both went to prison. They both wasted, like, maybe 4 or 5 years of their life. You know what I'm saying? They both had a lot of trouble with the law. They both have felonies, right? I know a lot of people be like, yo, I have a felony. I can't do anything. Yes, you can. You could be an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? This is what, like, yo, the best time to be an entrepreneur is probably now with all this technology, because technology doesn't care if you're a felon. You know what I'm saying? Like eBay and Amazon don't care what your convictions are, because there's people that are making $1.3 million on Amazon and eBay. And before people purchase products from these people, nobody's asking them, what's your record? Nobody's asking them, are you a felon? Nobody's asking them. They don't care. Like people on Amazon and eBay, all that matters is, do you know how to get your product in front of your consumer? You know what I mean? Get their attention. Be the person that they want to buy from. Do you know how to do those things? If you know how to do those things, no one gives a shit that you have a felony. You know what I'm saying? Like if you join a network marketing company or affiliate program, no one's going to ask you how many felonies do you have. They're mostly asking, is this a scam? Like, is this a real business opportunity? Is it legit? They're not once going to ask you, how many crimes have you committed? You know what I'm saying? So to the people that think they can't do something just because they have a felony, and then, and some people are going to hear this, they're going to be like, yeah, but they're going to use the words that I just said, make people fail. Yeah, but, and it's hard. You know what I mean? Let me give you an example of things people consider hard, but it would be worth your time if you learned how to stop doing. Maybe you've been smoking for 35 years. And you keep complaining about how hard it is to stop smoking. And because you focus on how hard it is, what you're basically saying is, I don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? You're letting it be hard be the reason that you don't even try. You know what I'm saying? And you might be like, yo, dude, that's unfair to say. I've been trying. I've been doing this. Like, you know what I mean? If you learn to focus on what you want more than how difficult it is, you'll find out in life that you'll get more of what you want, instead of it being hard and you being a victim your whole life. You know what I'm saying? Is it hard to get into heaven? It probably is. Is it worth your damn time if you get into heaven? Is it worth your time if you save your lungs from all the smoke you're putting into it? Is it worth your time if you learn how to stop being alcoholic? Is it worth your time? You know what I mean? Focus on that. You want to focus on something? Stop saying it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's hard to get the girl of my dreams. There's a lot of people that say shit like that. Yo, it's hard to get the girl that I've always wanted. There's a lot of men out here who you have to sit and watch somebody else raise kids that could have been your kids. You know what I'm saying? You know what that probably feels like? I mean, I can't imagine, but I know what some people are going through, to know that there was a girl that you liked in high school and she equally liked you, but you didn't make a move for whatever reason because, yeah, but she's not going to like me. Yeah, but what if I say the wrong thing? Yeah, but, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's hard to talk to women. It's hard to get people's attention. It's hard to get people to like me. It's hard. You focused on how hard it was. Another man came along, didn't focus on how hard it was. Now he has the woman of your dreams. Now he has kids with this woman. And now you have to sit there and be bitter. Well, you don't have to sit there and be bitter. But a lot of people are going to choose bitterness. And they're going to be like, yo, those are my 3 kids that I should have been raising. That's my house that I should have bought for her. Well, you didn't take action. You wanted to obsess over how hard it was. You know what I mean? So now you want to dwell that you didn't take action. Now you want to get mad at somebody who took action in places where you found excuses not to. You know what I'm saying? So getting back to the story, like, of how on both sides of the fence, there's a 35-year-old on both sides of them, and they both went through the same predicaments, but yet one is massively successful and the other one isn't. There's only one reason. One person didn't obsess over how difficult something is going to be, and another person said, I'm going to try, man. Because if I don't try, I'm going to be old as shit and regret not trying. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be old as hell. And, like, can you imagine what it's like to be 87 and you reflect on a life wasted, how much things you could have did, but it's like you stopped yourself. And when you're 85, you're going to know there was nobody else to blame but yourself. That's the part that you're going to have to live with. I mean, it's very easy to blame your pessimistic neighbors who told you not to do your startup business, or it's very easy to blame like your childhood or your mom or your negative dad or whoever the hell's telling you not to take action on your dream. It's easy to listen to these people. To blame these people as to why you're a failure. But when you're 85 years old and you're alone within your own thoughts at nighttime, about to go to sleep, here's what you're going to be saying. You're going to be like, yeah, but I didn't have to listen to them. Yeah, they were negative. I didn't have to be consumed by their negativity. Yeah, people told me not to. I didn't have to listen to them. Like, yeah, I lived in New York City my whole life. I wanted to move to California. Always wanted to, and now I have to regret that. But I didn't have to listen to the people that talked me out of it. Sometimes people talk you out of things because it's convenient for them if they talk you out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you do live in New York City. Maybe you want to move to Cali. Yo, there's a lot of people that give selfish advice. Here's what I mean by selfish advice. They don't want you to move to California because they can't get over how much they're going to miss you if you leave. They have no consideration for your dream. They don't give a damn about how much happier you're going to be if you move to Cali. They care about the fact, yo, if you leave, I'm going to be miserable here. What am I going to do without you? And since they're so damn clingy, they don't even know how to give you proper advice, which is, bro, like, is it on your heart? Is it what you really want? And then you're like, yeah, it's what I want. So then go do it then, right? That's what I would say to people. If it's on your heart, if you really feel like this is what you should be doing, then I'm not going to hold you back from traveling to another city. I'm not going to be selfish and say, I'm going to miss you so much. There is such a thing called FaceTime, you know? There is such a thing called calling a person, right? You know? Or me going over there to visit you, you going over here. But for me to be so selfish that I stand in the way of your dream because I'm going to miss you so damn much when you move to another city is one of the most selfish things a person could do. But these are things that happen every day. You know what I'm saying? People are always giving advice from a selfish standpoint. You tell your friend not to execute on their dream because what they want to do, it doesn't seem likely for them to achieve. So you think that them not having to deal with the pain of failure is better than them not even trying at all. Nah, it's better to try and fail miserably than to live 40 years of your life wondering what would have happened if I did try. What would have happened if I actually put in effort? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what's on the other side of trying. It might be massive success. And what if you undercut yourself by not giving it an attempt? Because you're like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to fail. I'm going to this. What if my mom is right? What if I open up a restaurant? I don't get any customers. I go out of business. I end up filing for bankruptcy. I lose all my money. Like everyone's so scared of a loss. Yo, there's people in this world with there's people with $20,000 in their bank account right now. 25,000, right? There's some American in the world with that amount of money and they want to invest it into an opportunity. Maybe they want to start real estate investing. Maybe they want to, here's the thing, like when you have $25,000, you don't put in the whole pot into one investment, and people be doing that. They be putting $25,000 down and they think they're doing something, right? They'll put it on an investment that they're not really knowledgeable of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw a quote once that says, some people think that the stock market is risky, but I say that investing into anything that you're not knowledgeable of is risky. You know what I'm saying? You're risking when you don't know what you're doing, like when you don't take a course on it, when you don't educate yourself and learn the fundamentals. Like when I traded binary options back in 2014, I remember I put, I think $450 in my account, right? And all the trades that I did, it was risking. All of them was risking. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was hoping for a win. I was swinging for the fences without training myself, training my body to be able to hit a home run. You train your body to hit a home run, you're going to be able to hit one. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when you go to the ballpark and you try to just hit a home run and you've never worked out in your life and you've never fortified your body to do so, then every swing you take is just praying for a miracle, praying for you know what I mean? A Hail Mary, but the likeliness of you doing that is going to be low because you didn't condition your body for victory. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's another topic I want to get into briefly. I want to talk about the mind really quick and the physical body. Like, I don't have to tell you doing push-ups makes you stronger, right? Like, you know what to do to get stronger. You know to hit the gym. You know to jump rope. All these cardio exercises, all these, lifting weights. It goes without saying, and that's what you do to get your body stronger. How come it doesn't go without saying that if you want to fortify your mind, you might have to read a couple books? If you want to fortify your mind, you might have to listen to a couple of podcasts. Some of you struggle with negativity. You wonder why you can't stop being so damn negative, but yet you don't change your environment. Yes, a lot of us are a product of our environment, a product of the negativity we've been around, but you could get new friends. You could, you know what I mean? You could cut off some people. I mean, you could, or you might not even have to cut them off completely, but just limit the time that you're with them. Like maybe you're spending 9 hours a day with negative ass people. Maybe you should cut that down to half an hour a day. And with the other 8.5 hours, find positive as hell people that don't know how to not be happy and learn from these people. Everybody who's like, whatever you suffer with, whether it's negativity, being pessimistic, lack of faith, these are learned behaviors that you learn from people around you, and you rationalize it in your mind, and then it makes sense to you to not have faith. It makes sense to you to have depression. It makes sense to you to have anxiety because everyone else has it, or because you've been having it for 20 years. And then we take how it's been and we think that that's how it has to be indefinitely until we die. Just because you had anxiety for 20 years doesn't mean your next 20 has to look like your last 20. You know what I'm saying? Just because you had depression for 20 years doesn't mean your next 20 has to look like the last 20. We're so obsessed with how it's been, and then we're so obsessed with telling people, well, you don't know what it's like to be me, and you don't know what it's like to be bullied, and you don't know what it's like. It's like, bruh, you know what? You know what? You don't know what it's like? You don't know what it's like to overcome. You don't know what it's like to not have a victim mentality. You don't know what it's like to be victorious. Like, would you like to know what that's like? Because for as long as you're trying to get me to know what it's like to have failure, you're always going to be a failing person. And you try to get everybody in this world to relate to how much it sucks to be you. And then it sucking to be you continues for 20 years plus because you want people to relate to, well, you don't know what it's like to be me. Aren't you tired of being you? Aren't you tired of your current circumstance? Aren't you tired of like what you've been getting? You know, and here's the thing about life. If you don't like what you've been reaping, you have to change what you've been sowing, because what you've been reaping is nothing else besides a reflection of what you've been sowing. And some people are impatient. Some people plant a seed today and they get mad at the ground tomorrow for not delivering what they planted. It's like, well, what the hell, dude? Like I planted a seed. I watered it. Sunlight came. It's like, yeah, dude, all of that did happen, but it's been 24 hours. You have to give it time. You know how long a tree takes to grow? Some of you are trying to grow trees and you're mad that 2 weeks has passed and nothing sprouted out of the ground. Give it time, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? It takes consistency. Like LeBron James in fourth grade shot 4,000 shots a day. Like, you know what I mean? 4,000 jump shots a day in fourth grade. You might think right now, yo, that sounds hard. With LeBron James, it wasn't about difficulty. It was about, I want to be in a fucking NBA. And I don't care how hard it is to shoot 4,000 jump shots. That's what I'm doing on a daily basis. Can you imagine if he focused on how hard, man? Imagine if he has a mentor. Imagine LeBron James is in fourth grade right now. He has a mentor that tells him, you want to be great? I want you to shoot 4,000 jump shots a day. You know what I mean? And that's just a warm up. Then I'm going to tell you what you have to do after that as well as some running, as well as some cardio fitness, as well as lifting weights. That's just part one, 4,000 jump shots before you even get into everything else. Can you imagine if he focused on, man, that's hard. He would have never been in the NBA because he would have focused on the wrong things. It's not about it being hard. It's about, is it worth your time if you do the necessary actions to get to where you want to be? That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? It's not about, is it hard to get into heaven? Is it worth your time if you get into heaven? It's not about, is it hard to smoke? It's supposed to be hard. If it's worth your time, it's supposed to be hard. Like I said in previous podcasts, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you sleep with a girl today, how much is she worth to you tomorrow if you met her 15 minutes ago? You know what I'm saying? If you met her 20 minutes ago, you're already in her bedroom doing God knows what. You know what I'm saying? What is she worth to you tomorrow? The first thing that's going to go through your mind is, you must get down like this. You must do this with every other guy. Like, and then her worth in your mind decreases because you're like, yo, man, like, you start thinking it's a matter of time before she cheats on you. It's a matter of time before she has the same, like, you know, the same promiscuous action, like, with other people. You know what I'm saying? And you start thinking, yo, I'm not even special. I'm not even this. I'm not even that. But when she makes you wait a decade, 5 years, 6 years, or however long, or wait until you marry her before y'all do anything, you know, how much more is she going to be worth to you? Like, because you had to wait that long. You know what I mean? And you're going to know that she means something to you because you didn't get frustrated that she ain't give it up to you in 2 weeks, in 2 months. You know what I mean? In 1 year. Because most people bounce, yo. Most people don't have the patience that it takes to persevere. It's like, yo, if I'm not getting in a bedroom with you, then in 2 months, then you're a complete waste of my time because I don't want a relationship with you. I want sex. And it shouldn't take 2 months for me to get that out of you. You know what I'm saying? That's how a lot of men think. Like, we won't say that to you directly, but that's what goes through a lot of people's head. Now, some men are not like that. I'm just speaking in general terms. But what I'm saying is, some people, right, when you're dedicated to the process, it doesn't matter if it takes 10 years. Like, this screenshot that you're looking at right now, this guy, Gary Vee, he's been making videos for 12 years. You see the Instagram count? He has 4.6 million followers, but it took him 12 years of making videos. You know what I mean? He has a quote. He says, every overnight success was actually 12 years in the making, 15 years in the making, 7 years. I know it's different for everybody. For some people, it might be 2 years. And you might think that certain people are lucky. Here's another thing that stops people from success: worrying about other people's success. It doesn't matter that Tekashi 6ix9ine is famous. It doesn't matter, whoa, Vicky, Cash Me Outside, how about that, and all these other people that annoy the hell out of you, that you don't think deserve fame. You don't think they deserve a following? Guess what? This world doesn't care what you think other people deserve or don't deserve, right? These people are still getting what they have, like, and that has nothing to do with your success. Like, there's so many rappers that are mad at Tekashi 69 because I should be successful and he should, and his music is whack. He's not even saying anything. Like, we get mad at mumble rappers. Like, for what, dude? Like, getting mad at these people, what does that do for your career as a rapper? What does that do for you to solidify your spot? You're just mad that somebody else has a following that you think you deserve, but yet you haven't sowed as many seeds as them. You know what I mean? And you might be like, oh, well, they're part of the Illuminati. They sold their soul to the devil. They did this and they did that. Like, I'm not going to do those things. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, like, everybody's path is different. Like, for some people, it's going to take 10 years. For some people, it's going to take half a year. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you how long that process is going to be, but for as long as you're complaining about how long it's taking, it's going to seem like it's that much longer because you feel like it should have happened by now. You know how many people get into sales? They get into network marketing companies. They get into all these things. What's up, Bradley? And then they get mad because they can't get a sale in 2 weeks. Yo, like, if you want to here's what I like about sales, right? And I haven't made a lot of sales, yo. Like, to be honest with all you guys, when it comes to sales, in my whole lifetime, I've made like less than $65. I don't know the amount. It's less than 65 for sure. You know why? It's because there's things that I know that I could be doing that I'm not applying. You know what I'm saying? There's things that, what I like about sales is for me to get a lot of sales, I have to become more of a better person. I have to be ethical. I have to care about the customer. I have to learn things. It's a challenge, yo. You can't just make sales. You can't just get people to buy your product. You have to have a good presentation. You have to have a good sales funnel, landing page. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to develop your online presence. There's things that you have to do first that people are not willing to do because they're like, yo, I didn't get into this to do sales funnel and all that other crap. I came in here to make money today. But the thing is, you don't want to become a new person. You don't want to change the way you think. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something powerful about the Bible that I want to talk about. It's a concept, and if you're not a religious person, if you hate God, it's cool. Like, whatever your preference is. But I want to get into the concept because it's a principle that could be applied to anybody's life, regardless of what your belief system is in terms of religion. But there's a concept of dying to yourself. Dying to yourself means when your old thoughts become old, they're not part of you anymore, and you accept a new indoctrination that makes you better. You know what I mean? Isn't it crazy that TV programming, they'd be like, yo, what program you watching? What channel you watching, right? Like, people be like, yo, what program is this? Like, your mind has been programmed. If you're negative, you've been wired that way. You know what I'm saying? You have to rewire yourself. You've been brainwashed into pessimism. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to sell or be sold, right? You're going to be sold a belief system, or you're going to sell other people on a belief system. My main product that I sell is positivity, and it's free. Like, that's my main product. I'm trying to get people on having a good mindset. If I could sell you on that, then I could sell you on what your potential in life is. Then I could sell you on how far you can make it as a human being. Then I could sell you on everything else. Cause now you're positive, right? Now you have faith, you know what I'm saying? But the concept of dying to yourself means that when you here's thoughts that I had, right? Let me tell you some thoughts that I had that they're dead to me now. And because they're dead to me now, I take in new thoughts that now make me a better person. I used to think you owed me something, yo. I used to think that if you read my text message, you owe me a response. I'm dead to that way of thinking. And what that means is now I have a new perspective on sending messages. I would hope that you would at least read it. You know what I'm saying? But even if you don't read it, like, I'm not thinking about that all day. I have goals I want to attend to. You know what I'm saying? If I spend my time focusing on shit that doesn't matter, I lose sight of what ultimately matters more than everything else. And that's my mission here on earth. You know what I mean? Like, all my depression came from me focusing on things that wasn't worth my time focusing on, such as I wish people loved me. I wish people returned my text messages. I wish people were more considerate, more compassionate. Why is this world so damn evil? And I would wish that life got easier instead of wishing for me to get stronger. Wish that you were stronger, because when you get stronger, life does get easier. When you mentally fortify your mind, life gets amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of you complain about how sensitive you are, and you're mad because you think you were created to be so damn sensitive. No, you weren't. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone tells a bad joke that, maybe it triggers something in you that makes you cry, and then you're tired of being that way, but you accept being that way, and you say, this must be life, because, if I wasn't meant to be this way, then maybe I wouldn't be this way for 15 years. You know what I mean? That's like saying that there's a car sitting in a lot right now, And you might say, like, it would sound stupid if you say that about a broken vehicle. Well, it's been broken for 15 years, so maybe that vehicle was meant to be broken for 15. Bruh, if somebody would come into that lot and fix the damn vehicle, it wouldn't be broken anymore. Similarly, right, if you got re-indoctrinated with new information that didn't make you so broken anymore, maybe you would be a fixed person. Like, you would never look at a vehicle and say it was meant to be broken because it's been that way for 15 years. It would make absolute sense to you that someone would come along and repair that vehicle, right? And you'd be like, nah, dude, like it wasn't meant to be broken. It's just a mechanic hasn't come around to fix it. If a mechanic, you ever seen Pimp My Ride? Some of you know what that show is, right? Pimp My Ride. I used to watch that a lot. Yo, they used to take the most busted up vehicles and make them amazing. Put jacuzzis and all type of shit in the bed of the truck, like in a, you know what I'm saying? And it was just all fancy and stuff. And when you look at the before and after images, it's crazy what these people were able to do with broken down vehicles. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't know what your potential after image of you looks like. You know what I'm saying? The before and after image. It's crazy, yo, because I never thought about these concepts until right now. But you don't know what the before and after image of your life looks like. You know what I'm saying? Your life after you mentally fortify yourself versus what it was like when you thought that you were a mess and you thought you were created to be a mess and continue being a mess because you've been a mess for 15 years plus. It doesn't matter how it's been, and you stop trying to relate to how it's been. If you don't like how it's been and you want more out of your life, right? Then focus on the things that you want and focus on how you're going to get there. You know how many people, they won't take action because they don't know the whole path? They don't know step by step by step what they have to do. If you know step one, why not focus on step one and do that for as long as you can, you know, and just have faith that the path will reveal itself to you. I'm about to make sense out of that if it doesn't make sense to you in a second. Let's say you live in New York City. You're trying to drive from California. You would never not get in your vehicle to go from New York City to California because your headlights doesn't light the whole path. It would sound silly, right? Like you don't need your high beams to light all of America. It just needs to light the first 300 to 500 feet in front of you. And when you get 500 feet ahead, then the next 500 feet will be revealed to you. If you're driving at nighttime, you don't need the whole path to be revealed to you. You would never not get in your vehicle to not drive someplace just because the whole path is not lit up. It doesn't have to be lit up. As long as you got the first 300 feet. You know what I'm saying? And that's not much. 300 to 500. I don't know how far high beams and, go, but, it's probably like 600 feet, something like that. That's all you need. That's all the vision. If you're driving at night, that's all the vision you need to see in front of you. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many people in this world that won't get in a car because all of America from fucking New York City to Los Angeles, the whole path needs to be light up. They need to know step by step by step exactly what's going to happen and why. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why does it have to be that way? Because it has to be that way, you're going to use it not being that way as an excuse to not do anything. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like, do you want to accomplish something? Yeah, but this is what people say. Yeah, but you don't know what it's like, bruh. Like, so what? Like, why do I have to know what it's like in order for you to even be considerate of accomplishing something for you? So now, like, now your prerequisite for success is me knowing what it's like first and me understanding your struggle and me having empathy towards you before you be like, all right, now I'm ready to listen to what you have to say. You know what I mean? Like, why do some of you desperately need to be understood? As long as you understand you don't need other people to understand you. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you live in New York City and you want to move to like South Carolina, and that shit might make no sense to the people you're telling that to. You don't need your goals to make sense to people. If your physical body is in New York City, but your heart is in South Carolina, then go where your heart is, right? You know what I'm saying? And people are going to try to talk you out of that because they're going to miss you so much, because you're my best friend, because there's like selfish reasons. Instead of people being like, bruh, like, is it what you want? Then go for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this whole it's hard, like, saying that it's hard doesn't make it less hard. You know what I'm saying? It makes it more difficult. You know what I'm saying? Because that becomes what you focus on. And then you focus on how hard it is versus how much you really want to get there. It's not about difficulty. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if it's worth your time, it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be hard to get into Harvard. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the top rated schools in America. You think is supposed to be easy to get into Harvard? Like, like, people know, like, it's hard. It's Harvard. Like, it's known for being difficult. They don't just accept anybody. You know what I'm saying? You have to have qualifications. You have to have a certain mindset. You have to have a certain GPA. Like, there's requirements for you to get there, but like, if Harvard was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? Like, everybody would be able to get in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it wouldn't be such an expensive ass school. It's supposed to be hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm sure for every student that gets in there, they feel so relieved that they got in there. They feel so happy. And guess what? Everybody who gets into Harvard, they did not focus on how hard it was going to be to get into there. They focused on what's the requirements needed, what's the formula that I need to come up with, what, like, you know what I mean? Like, they studied. They became what they needed to be. They became Harvard worthy. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being a complainer of how hard it is to get into there. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that are dating the woman of their life, they didn't focus on how hard it was going to be to get their attention. They said, yo, I want this girl, man, and I need to figure out how the hell I'm going to do that, how I'm going to get her to like me or whatever, or get her on a date, or if I could have one conversation with her, or if I could, you know what I'm saying? They focused on that. Now they're dating that person. Now they have 5 kids with that person, you know, and meanwhile you're dwelling because the woman of someone else's life was the woman of your life, but you didn't take action, and now someone else gets rewarded. You know what I'm saying? Like, this world doesn't reward complainers. It doesn't reward people that sit around dwelling on how difficult it is. Sit around dwelling on, yeah, but I would take action if I had resources. If only I had this, you know. Some of you think like, oh, if only I had rich parents, if only I had somebody to come around and teach me about finances, if only I had someone, you're waiting for someone to come around and teach you something. And here's the thing about people. People don't care about your struggle. A lot of people don't. They just don't care if you fail. They don't care if you live or die today. Like, if you die today, a lot of people don't care. A lot of people do care. Some people do care. I'm not saying everybody doesn't care, but you owe it to yourself for you to care enough about your problems where you don't need somebody to come and rescue you. You know what I'm saying? You don't need people to be considerate of your situation. Like, some of you are so entitled when you have, let's say you know somebody got $15,000 in their bank account. You need $1,000 loan. You go to them and you get so mad that they tell you no, because it's like, I thought you were my boy. I thought you was this. I'm about to get into a story about when I first got into network marketing and some of my entitlement, shit was killing me in business. And I'm gonna tell you that in a second, but you know what I mean? You might think because someone has 15 grand, they're obligated to give you a loan, and that's why you're frustrated. And you think your frustration is them not giving you money. Your frustration is you have that level of entitlement and you have expectations on someone else's shoulders. Because if you had $15,000 in your bank account, and if someone comes to you with entitlement thinking that you owe them something just because you've been friends with them for 10 years, you look at them sideways. You know what I'm saying? But yet, in reverse is different. Like, like when the shoe's on the other foot, it's different now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's their bank account balance. You want to complain, and it's so much of an inconvenience to you because they don't want to give you a loan, or, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they did give you a loan. Maybe every time they give you a loan, they call you about it, and then you don't answer their phone, or you move to another city, you change your first and last name, bruh. Like, people be doing shit like that, and you wonder why no one wants to give you money. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I got into that, but anyways, yeah, I used to have entitlement, like the first business that they turned me on to the space of entrepreneurship was Wake Up Now. I don't know if you guys heard of that, right? I'll tell you about it in a second. But Wake Up Now was about 2014. And here's a crazy thing, right? This is an important detail. My sponsor who signed me up, she was broke as shit. Like, when it came to, she didn't make massive results, but I didn't join her because of, a lot of you are like, yo, I'll join your business opportunity when I see you crushing it, when I see you making a lot of money. Because if I see someone that I've grown up with for 10, 15 years making thousands of dollars online, then that's the prerequisite for me to believe in myself. Why do you need people around you to succeed before you believe in your own damn self? Like, you know what I'm saying? Which means you're delaying the process of your potential success because other people have to be successful before you could even see it for yourself. What the hell is that? Like, this is the type of shit we rationalize and make sense out of it, but it makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it only makes as much sense as you tell yourself that it does, but it really doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just delaying your own process. But anyways, getting back into like the whole Wake Up Now thing. Yo, I had a friend, right? His name is Jason. Good dude, right? And I have no idea if he listens to these podcasts, but I hope he hears this one specifically. And hopefully I see him in person one day, and this would be a funny conversation to have later. But I remember I gave him like a sales pitch. I was like, I don't know what it was, but I was telling him about this business, and he told me straight up. He was like, yo, if it's that Wake Up Now shit, I'm not interested. I felt so heartbroken because here's what went through my mind. I was like, yo, but I've known you for 10 years, 15 years. Like, you should at least listen to my presentation. You should no, he shouldn't. Why should he? Because I want him to, you know what I'm saying? Why should he listen to my presentation? It's his time. Who the hell am I to determine to somebody else how they should use their time? Oh, you should use your time doing doing the things that I think is convenient for you to do. It's only selfishness that would make me even think that, like, you should listen to my business proposal. You should, why? You know what I mean? Because so I took that, right? I took, because I've known him for 10 years plus, as the reason to why he should listen to me. But he doesn't owe me a goddamn thing. Now that I believe that he doesn't owe me anything, well, first of all, like, when it comes to business opportunities, I'm not going to be in friends' inboxes pitching opportunities. I think the best sales pitch is consistent results, making thousands of dollars, like making hundreds of dollars, and then posting your results. And then eventually people around you are watching you. They start watching that you get 50 plus likes. They start watching that you get 20 plus engagement, people commenting. And then people that were skeptical towards the business you joined, now they want more information, because on a consistent basis, they see you getting other results. Yo, when you have I want to talk about scarcity mindset really quick. Some of you might be like, you might only think in a capacity of 100 people that you know, that you grew up with, friends and family. That's what people do, right? That's what they tell you. When you start marketing, they're like, I want you to send an email to everybody you know, send a message to everybody you know, say this to them. Bro, like, the hardest people to convert are the people that know you, because they grew up with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they know you as not being a businessman, they're like, oh, here this guy goes trying to be a businessman now. What the hell is this about? They have the most cynicism towards you. You know why the fake it till you make it shit works with other people? You can't pull that card on people you grew up with, because if you have a friend that he's dead broke, his bank account balance is looking like negative 2,000, and he starts faking it until he makes it. You know that if he starts putting on a suit that he borrowed that, that if he takes pictures in front of a private jet, he probably hopped the fence and took pictures in front of a jet that he doesn't own to portray that life as if he's already there, to try to sell $1,000 bullshit course. It's not his. It's just a packaged, like, it's like all the YouTube videos that he watched packaged into what seems to be his course. And now he's trying to sell $1,000 course. Like, you would know that that's not him. That's why he can't sell you on that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because he borrowed that suit. He hopped the fence at the airport, taking pictures in front of planes that he doesn't own. That, you know what I mean? He's going to restaurants, having other people pay for the food, right? He's paying people to go to the restaurant with him, to act like they're his friend, to take pictures, to make it seem like, and then using this leverage to grow a social media following. This fake it till you make it shit, you can't pull that card on people you know. You know what I'm saying? Because people they're going to be like, but people you don't know on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, they're going to look at you and be like, oh, he's living that life. Oh, he's doing this. And because you look qualified to teach other people how to live that life that you are not yet living, right? Because you look qualified, in people's mind, you are qualified. And that's why you're going to sell your $1,000 bullshit course. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I have no hate towards these people. If it sounds like I'm mad at these people, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying these are the things people do, right? And, people do what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here to, like, patronize you or anything. But, yeah, man, like, for me personally, I just want to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Personally, I just want to grow it the right way. And the right way is whatever my truth is ethically. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want to do. Like, right now I'm doing Facebook ads, and I'll tell you about that later. But I'm doing Facebook ads, and, I'm spending like $5.50 a day, because I know a guy who he spends $5 to $10 a day. It sounds like a lot of money, but he makes $5,000. That's what I want to talk about, right? You might think, somebody might tell you, run this. You might buy a training course, right? It says, run this training, say these words, do this thing. Here's your ad spend. You have to spend $5 to $10 a day. And you might be like, yeah, but, or it's difficult, man. I don't have $5 to $10. I don't have this. I don't have that. It's like, bruh, if you bought less Bacardi, if you bought less Hennessy, if you bought less cigarettes, you got to make a sacrifice. Yo, this guy I'm talking about, who makes $5,000 a month, and he only spends $5 to $10 a day on advertisement. Do you know what he had to sacrifice so he could have that ad spend budget to be able to spend money on advertisements? He had to eat peanut butter and jelly regularly. He had to eat ramen noodles regularly. He had to stop with going out to eat to restaurants, these gourmet dinners. And all that money he spent on gourmet dinners now went towards his advertisements. So sometimes you gotta eat ramen noodles for a year so that you could eat caviar for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of you are not willing to eat ramen noodles. Some of you are not willing to eat peanut butter and jelly. You're not willing to live below your means. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if I could live with 9 roommates, 10 roommates in a 1-bedroom apartment right now, I'll do it. And I know some of you are like, what the hell? That sounds so inconvenient, right? Like, You know, like I don't want to be posting selfies when there's 10 dudes in my one bedroom apartment. Like I don't want social media laughing at me. But bruh, you know what the upside of that is? When there's 10 people paying rent, rent becomes $100. It becomes $90. And all that money, everyone has a job. This is what immigrants do, yo. You wonder why immigrants are killing shit? Because they come here, 17 of them in a 2 bedroom apartment, and they just kill shit all day. Like all of them have a job. They're all saving. Rent is like $50. You know what I'm saying? Like illegal as hell, but they're making it work. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, that's what they do. And then 10 years later, all of them are independent business owners. And they had the humility that it took to do those things. People don't have humility to sell their BMW because they like the short-term ROI of other people looking at them, admiring them because you have a BMW, because you have a drop top. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen my mom like hold on to things that, you know, like just items that are very expensive that it's like, bruh, sell that shit. You don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want it because you have an emotional connection to it. But if you have an emotional connection to something that's a liability and costing you more and more money every month, and you barely have enough money to maintain, and you know what that's called? Golden handcuffs. Golden handcuffs is what they call it. You know, you might like your handcuffs because they're made out of gold, pure gold. You know what I'm saying? But it's handcuffs. You're handcuffed to it. You can't move. You're stationary. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you like the big ass house you live in, you know, and you have 3 cars. You have 4 cars. Maybe you have 2 houses, and then you work at a job that you hate, but you feel like you have to work at that job because it's the only way to maintain 4 vehicles. It's the only way to maintain 2 big ass houses. It's like, bruh, how much living space do you need? Do you need 2 big ass houses? What man needs 4 vehicles? Like, what's wrong with 2? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with 1 even? You know, everyone wants a Lamborghini, bro. What's wrong with a Toyota? What's wrong with a, you see what I mean? Like, yo, what's wrong with a Chrysler? Like, well, nah, fuck Chrysler. But Toyota's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, American cars be breaking down like crazy. But anyways, yeah, like, what's wrong with living below your means for a year or two so that a year or two from now you can live above your means and because you've obtained what you think you deserve, you know? So many people think they deserve something. In order to get to what you deserve, in order to get what you want, you got to first deserve what you want. And so many people don't deserve what they want. You have to deserve what you want. The way to deserve what you want is to sow the seeds necessary and then let that seed bloom, like water it, grow it, let the sun shine on it, and then it blossoms, then it grows, then it, you know what I'm saying? Now you're reaping what you've sown. And now what you're reaping, now what you're sowing is a product of what you've been reaping. And the people who love what they've been reaping is one reason, because they love what they've been sowing. You know what I'm saying? And they love the process all the way through. You know what I'm saying? So many people don't want to get, they want to get to the top of the mountain, but they want to teleport. You can't teleport, dude. Like if you like the top of the mountain, cool. You like the view from up there, cool. I hope you like climbing. People hate climbing. They like the top of the mountain, but you hate climbing, which means you're not going to get there if you obsess over how hard it is to fucking climb a mountain. Yeah, but I would climb the mountain, but finances, but student loans, but this, but that, yeah, but this, and it's difficult. Like all this shit holding people back, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, the guy that he spent $5 to $10 a day, he was on the verge of being homeless. He joined MCA particularly. You know, a lot of you have heard about MCA. People made a lot of money. One of my favorite people from there, I've learned a lot following this dude. His name was Rodney Walker. I watched pretty much all of his videos, and he taught me a lot about mindset. You know what I'm saying? And I saw what he did. All he did was leverage his current results, and those results got him more results. All he did was post, yo, I got $5,000 this week. And people would just, you know what I'm saying? He secured his spot as the person being qualified to teach other people how to do something just by getting consistent results. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people are promoting the business opportunity, like, I mean, what you call it, like the benefits of the company. Here's another thing that I'll learn from somebody else, and I'm gonna get into a different topic. This guy said, yo, if you go to the park and you throw flyers in the air, let's say these flyers, they teach you exactly how to make $1,000 per day, step by step with a website they could visit for more information, free, all this stuff free, videos and all that. But it's flyers, you know what I'm saying? Valuable information, but in the form of flyers. No one's going to pick that shit up. They're going to step on these flyers. They won't even take the chance to read what it might be. No one cares. But if you, instead of flyers, if you throw $100 bills, people are going to flock towards that money. This is why I see network marketers, right, posting pictures of money. You might be like, yo, why do people do this sleazy, like, salesman tactic of posting large amounts of cash? It's because it grabs people's attention. It makes you want to comment. If they post all these benefits, yo, if you join my company, like, your credit score is going to go up. You could potentially win a vehicle. You could do this, you could do that. Like, no one cares as much. The videos that I see getting a lot of engagement when people have hundreds of dollars of bills and then maybe they have their ID card in there to show that it's them. They show their face and they be like, yo, if you want to know what this opportunity is, comment down below. You might hate that type of marketing, but that shit works. Like, so many people comment on that. These things get sometimes hundreds of comments because just like throwing flyers at a park, you know what I mean? No one cares what the flyer has to say, which is a metaphor for certain posts on Facebook, flyers about their, what their business has to offer. But you post money, like something about money, like people are interested now. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like, you know what I mean? Like, do you know in America, like if you have $1,000 in your bank account, you're doing better than 75% of Americans just by having $1,000 saved in your bank account. That shit is crazy, dude. Like, and I know that some of you that don't think money should be as important as it is, but I'm even willing to say that worldwide, like when it comes to everyone who is in poverty or feel like they're living in poverty, right? I'm sure at least 50 to 60% of prayers to God is, God, can I have more money? God, can you teach me how to make more money? God, can you bless my family with more money? I'm sure 50% of prayers are about money. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the anxiety that people have when they don't have it, like when they get these bills and they're like, shit, how am I going to pay that? And then they feel like they have to worry all day. Like, I really believe these people don't have to worry. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really trust God. And this is why when circumstance happen, it's really a test to see how much do you trust God? Do you just say it? Or do you really believe what you're saying? It's easy to quote scripture. It's harder to become what you're quoting, to become, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's people in the Bible that as they were getting whipped, as they were getting beaten and punished and thrown into prison cells, they were singing praises to the Lord. How the hell can somebody sing to God while they're getting beat and executed? It's because they had a mindset that says, Lord, even if you take my life, I still love you. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, even if you take my son, even if you take my daughter, my finances, my job security, even if an eviction notice comes right now, like, it doesn't change my relationship with you, God. You know how powerful that is? That, for those of you that believe in God, when circumstance can't change your connection to him, so many of you, if your son or daughter was killed today, you'd give up on God. You'd walk away from God and want nothing to do with him because he's the one that was qualified to do something about it and did nothing in your opinion. So therefore, I'm done with religion. You know what I'm saying? Which means you're only serving, so, and, what I'm saying is, give me a second. What I'm saying is, of course, we don't want bad things to happen to our children. Of course, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, continue to pray for your kids to be safe. Continue to pray for your finances to be secure. Continue to pray for these things. But what is your character on the day that all of these things vanish? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why, to me personally, one of the best stories in the Bible is the book of Job, how everything was taken and he never once cursed God to his face the way the devil, and that's what the devil believes about you and everybody else. The devil told, he was like, you think this guy's for you? Like, of course you think that because you've hedged him on all sides. You've protected him. But if you take away his land, if you take away his wife, if you take away his kids, and if you take away his physical health, he'll curse you to your face like everybody else. The devil doesn't believe that you or me or anybody else is any different because he believes we're alive to get what we can from God. And that's it, that we don't actually care about having a relationship with God. And that's why when circumstance happens, we take circumstance personally instead of taking a relationship with God personally. When you take your relationship with God personally, you don't take circumstance personally anymore because you realize that the storm comes to the foolish man and to the wise man. Why is it that the foolish man gets torn apart by the storm? Because he wasn't expecting it and he doesn't believe that the storm has any place in his life, but the storm that you think has come to destroy everything, maybe it came to rearrange stuff. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it came to, so you can have a new perspective on life, that now you're so much stronger now that the storm has came. But if you take the storm personally, then you have more of a interpersonal connection to the storm than you do with God himself. And that's the reason people draw away from God, because they take the storm personally instead of taking God personally. You know what I'm saying? So give me a second. Inbox me a detail. What's up? What's up, Henry? Yeah, I don't know what type of details you want. If you could be more specific in your question, I definitely got you, bro. So yeah, I'm not sure what you want me to inbox you. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, man, there's certain words that people say to hold them back. And I just want to make this clear to you that these words are, it's hard, it's difficult, I can't, I'm not qualified. There's people less qualified than you living the dream that maybe you and someone else has a similar dream and you think they're less qualified to you. Takashi 69 is the perfect example because I'm not jealous of his success. I'm happy for the dude. You know, I hope he has a fulfilled life, all that, finds his purpose. But so many rappers are jealous of his success. So many rappers feel like that should have been me who got all these followers. That should have been me with 15 million followers. I actually have something that's worth saying. You know what I'm saying? And the more that people spend their time dwelling on how Tekashi 69 is famous and they're not, that does nothing for your career. It does nothing for your soul. That does nothing for your mind. Like every thought that you take, you know, every thought that you rationalize and you think about on a daily basis, it either serves you to have that thought or it disturbs you. You know what I'm saying? It's one or the other. There's thoughts that we have that it doesn't liberate you to have these thoughts. You know what I'm saying? There was a time when I took my driver's license test and I failed. And my stepdad believed that I failed on purpose to buy more time so I could live there longer. You know what I mean? Whether or not that's true doesn't matter because here's the thing about people, right? Once you believe something is true, for the most part, nobody could convince you otherwise. You know, people's belief system that they'll believe the most cynical thing and it just becomes their truth. But here's the thing, whether or not I failed on purpose to buy more time, if it's true or not, it doesn't matter. Like here's how you got to look at thoughts. Does it serve you to have that thought? Does it make your day go better to have that type of thought? You know what I mean? Like somebody might mistreat you and you might think of reasons for why they would do that. And the first reason you think of is because they're an asshole, because they're a jerk off, because maybe that is what they're being at the moment, but does it benefit you to see them that way? Does it do you better to see them that way? You know, does it make your life go better or does it make you a complainer? You know what I'm saying? Does it add to the list of the things that you're ungrateful for? Does it add to the list of the things that you've already been complaining about? People's attitude, people's intentions, people's motives, other people, man. It's always about other people. That shit has nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a friend who used to get mad because other people was emotionally abusing their wife or whatever, or talking so bad to their wife. And he's like, man, look at people, man. Like the nerve of people to abuse their wife. I'm sitting here wishing I had a wife and these people are abusing the wives that they had. I'm like, bro, what does that have to do with you? You know, you're single as hell mad at getting mad at someone else's marriage and what somebody fails to understand or what somebody fails to realize. You're still single at the end of the day. Like all the time you spend dwelling on how somebody's mistreating their woman, you could be finding your woman, right? You could be dating, right? I mean, you could be like looking for somebody, but instead you rather dwell. Instead you rather complain. Instead you rather complain about being single. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, you complain every day. Maybe that's why you're single. You know, you think people like being around other people that complain? Maybe some complainers like, you know, like they get along with other complainers, but it comes to a point when it's like, damn, dude, like everything that comes out of your mouth is a complaint, you know? Like, no wonder you're single. Maybe these are one of the reasons why. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be, you know? But dwelling on somebody else's marriage doesn't give you a marriage. Dwelling on somebody else's woman doesn't give you a woman. Dwelling on somebody else's finances doesn't increase your finances. You know what I'm saying? Like, thinking about how much somebody's an asshole for being a certain way doesn't make your day go better. You know what I'm saying? That's why it doesn't benefit you to view people in a certain light. Especially when the way that they're behaving has nothing to do with you. They've been indoctrinated to be that way. Everyone that has a mindset that makes no sense, they have thoughts that go through their head that makes their thoughts rational to them. I get that it might not be rational to anybody else, but it makes perfect sense in their head. And for as long as they believe that it makes sense to them, it takes for them they have to get brainwashed into a new way of thinking because they've been brainwashed. They've been sold on pessimism. They've been sold on saying no to opportunity. They've been sold on being negative. You know what I mean? Sell or be sold. Either you're going to be sold on a mindset that destroys you for having it, or you're going to realize that's not the way you want to live, learn positivity, and then try to sell other people on positivity. But everybody's a salesman, whether you have a product or not. You have a belief system that you want other people to get on board with, right? You know, we don't know how to sell. Sales in its basic form is the transfer of emotion, and the emotion that's being transferred is certainty. If you have a product, the only reason your customer's not buying is because they're not certain that it's going to do what you say it's going to do. They're not certain that they're going to make money off of this product. They're not certain. Uncertainty is what stops people from making a decision. So when it comes to being a salesman, that's the only emotion that you're transferring. These people like Rodney Walker, which is like He I think he goes under the MCA King on Instagram, something like that. You can look up his name on YouTube. Really good dude. Rodney Keith Walker is his name. He was never selling MCA, even though he was part of MCA. He was selling the idea of certainty. You know how he sold people on certainty? Because every Friday, when it came to his direct deposits, he would have $5,000 weeks, $7,000 weeks, 10,000. Some, I think one time he had a $22,000 week, and people saw that consistently, and they were sold. They were like, "Yo, whatever the hell he's doing, I know that if I join under this guy, he's qualified to teach me how to do so." And he never once sold people on MCA. I know a lot of you who were in MCA, you might have sold people on, the benefits, your car could get towed 100 miles. You know what I'm saying? I forgot some of the benefits. I used to be part of that company. But and you might wonder, yo, how come nobody was listening? These benefits were amazing. They weren't listening because here's why they weren't listening. Because if you have $1,000 in savings, you're doing better than 75% of Americans. They weren't listening because the product being sold wasn't certainty. You know what I mean? When the product being sold becomes certainty, when they become so certain that if they purchase the product, their life is going to go better, their finances are going to go better. People buy, man. People are going to buy, like, for sure. You know what I mean? So, but they wasn't being sold on certainty. They was being sold on benefits. You see the difference? You see how posting income results once you get results? And some of you might be like, yo, I don't have no damn results. How the hell am I going to start getting results? I don't know. I've seen people leverage other people's results. I've seen, you know what I'm saying? Or you could just, I don't know, do podcasts, man. Like, I have no idea who listens to these replays. I'm sure a lot of people like me because of these podcasts. You know what I mean? Whenever I start advertising, I'm going to have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's a shit product, because people love my personality, like, like I've sold them on me being a good person and them liking me. So off the strength of them liking me, now maybe they're interested in what I have to offer if I start having stuff to offer. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, man, just be a good person. Like, don't have entitlement. Don't tell people that they should buy your product just because they're your family members. Don't think that your family owes you anything. And family be having the most sense of entitlement. This is why when it comes to starting a business or starting a franchise, a lot of people say, they'd be like, yo, don't start a business with friends or family. If you want to start a business, do it with complete strangers or do it with someone that you met that you actually like a lot. And I know that sounds crazy. You're like, what the hell? You would think that it would be the reverse. But the thing is, family will expect so much from you. Because you're my brother, you should work overtime at my shop. You should fill in my hours. You should take a pay cut because you're my family. Why should you take a pay cut because you're my brother? You know what I mean? We do unethical shit to our friends and family because, we know them because you know what I'm saying? Like, you would never take a budget cut. Like, if you went to Walmart right now with $20 worth of groceries, you would never let Walmart take some of those groceries out and be like, oh, I'll give you $15 worth of groceries, but the other $5 that you spent, I'm going to keep your money. But the other, you'd be like, nah, yo, I just paid you for these products. Like, I'm getting my products. Like, you know what I'm saying? You would never accept that type of behavior from Walmart. Why is it that we start businesses with family and friends and we think that they should fill in for us? They should, you know what I'm saying? Like, they should take a pay cut. They should take less money because, or they should, so it's like, yo, like, the entitlement runs deep with family and friends. And people think just because you have the same blood as somebody else, they owe you something. Nobody owes you shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and until you start believing that, you can't be happy because it's always the entitled people walking around thinking someone owes them something. And now they start complaining. You know what I'm saying? Like, now all they do is complain about how other people are not serving them. People don't wake up in the morning to serve you or to meet your needs or to do right by you. A lot of people don't. A lot of people wake up with their self-beneficial interest only. That's it. And I see it in the world every day. I see it in so many marketers. So many marketers, the reason they got in your inbox just now, not because they give a damn about your life, not because they care about your finances, how your wife's doing, your kids, any of that. They don't care about knowing you either. They just want to make a sale. That's it. And that's the reason that 90% of inbox messages get ignored, because all you want from me is my money. Sell me. And you might really believe in your products. You might really believe that your product would change my life. You know what I'm saying? But you don't even know my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know if I need that change. It's impossible to genuinely know what somebody's interested in without asking them questions. You have to ask people, what do they want? You know what I'm saying? Before you buy a dusty ass vacuum cleaner for a person on Christmas, ask them, did they want that? Because here's what some of you are going to do, right? And this is a random topic. Some of you are going to buy somebody a vacuum cleaner on Christmas and you're going to get mad that they seem ungrateful about it. Did you ask them if they wanted a vacuum cleaner? Do you spend quality time with these people, getting to know what they like? You know what I'm saying? Because the best way to buy somebody a gift is to find out what they actually like and then only buy them those things, not the things that you think they should be satisfied with you buying. And you might be like, well, the person I bought a vacuum cleaner, they didn't have a vacuum cleaner, so they should be thankful. Why does a person have, people are under no obligation to be thankful. You know what I'm saying? The only reason they should be thankful is because it's an inconvenience to you if they're not, because now you feel hurt. So in order for them to prevent you from being hurt, you require something from them, and that's gratitude. So which means the only reason you have sanity is because people around you have gratitude, which means you're positioned for insanity the moment people walk around you being ungrateful. What the hell? Like, you know what I'm saying? Which means you're never going to have any mental fortitude. You have to fortify your mind. It goes without saying that you got to do push-ups to get your chest stronger. You know, like it should also go without saying, but these things are not being taught, that when you fortify your mind, you get stronger. You know what I'm saying? When you find the right motivational speaker, right? And you start listening to them all the time, you go from pessimism to optimism, and then you know no different because you've been brainwashed into a new philosophy that now changes your life. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that like has helped me tremendously. So like all I'm doing with these podcasts is just trying to, tell you guys about things that I've learned, and I have like 950 friends on here, but I don't know, man. Like if all 950 people were listening right now, I would only want at least one person to listen, just one. You know what I mean? Because I know how people are. They'll hear shit and they just won't take action, and that's just human behavior. There's nothing you could do about that. But it comes to a point where you get tired of living the life you live. You know what I'm saying? You get tired of, maybe being broke, or maybe you want to do something about it, but complain. There's people that complain about the place that they work for 25 years. It's like, bruh, you could have went somewhere else. And then when people tell you that, you get mad. Oh, like, you don't know how hard it is. And then you focus on how hard it is. And then people be like, yeah, but what about your dream? Like, they'd be like, yeah, but, which leads me to my point of this podcast. Yeah, but is destroying your life. It's difficult. Saying that all the time is destroying your life. You know what I'm saying? Saying that it's difficult is the reason you don't take action. When it comes to network marketing, making money online, what's the number one question? Is it easy? Because if it's easy, people will want to do it. If it's difficult, they're like, nah, man, get the hell out of here with that difficult shit. Like, I'm good on doing difficult things, but it's like, these are not good questions. Is it worth your time? So from now on, whenever you find an opportunity that seems like it's worth your time, focus on the worth that it brings to you, the value that it has. Is it worth your time? You know what I'm saying? Like, I always wonder how many people say, well, I'm not a salesman, but they never want to learn the tactics that it takes to be an incredible one, because the best salesmen are the people that don't seem like they're salesmen. It doesn't seem like they're trying to sell you anything. It seems like they're just only sharing their experiences with a product, and they're sharing their income results, and and then that's it. And then whoever messages them about more information, then they sell to those people. But they're not even selling because they have a website that does the selling for them. They have a website that has videos. Give me a second. What's up, Keith? Good message today. What's up, bro? Thanks for listening, man. Appreciate you guys. So that's the beautiful thing about, today. Like, 35 years ago, you had to have a business suit. You had to have a presentation. You had to, nobody had a website 35 years ago. If you wanted somebody to buy your product, you really had to be a salesman. Today, you don't have to be a salesman and still be one. Here's what I mean. If you're selling a product, you have a website that does all the explaining for you. It has written text. So people consume information differently. They read what they, you know what I mean? By the time they get done with the 10-minute presentation, they make a well-educated, informed buying decision, whether it's for them or if it's not. But being a salesman means getting a lot of traffic to your website. That's it. That's what being a salesman means in 2018. Getting a lot of eyeballs on your website, and then that website is going to do the converting for you. And the only one thing you focus on is the traffic. You know what I'm saying? If you could get, they say that in sales, typically, for every 100 people that see something, and this is pretty true, I think, for every 100 people that see an opportunity, between 2 to 5% take action, somewhere between 2 to 5%. And then when you become a better marketer, you could get between 6 to 7, maybe 8% of people for every 100 to take action. So you guys know Tai Lopez, right? He has a video that has 63 million views, I believe. So can you imagine? I want to do some math with you real quick. So let's say 63 million views, right? Can you imagine if he converted 2% of that number. 63 million views. I want to do some math with you to show you that being a salesman, I don't think these money making gurus are doing anything that difficult. I really don't. And I'm not saying that because I made $35 in sales. Like, I'm not saying that because I'm rich. I'm saying that because I'm starting to understand what they're doing. And I used to think this shit was complicated, but they focus on traffic. So let me do some math with you really quick, and I'm gonna get back on topic. So imagine a YouTube video getting 63 million views, and let's say 2% of that number converting. So if you have a calculator, you type in 63 million, right? Times 0.02. That means he would have made $1,260,000, which, well, if he had a product that was $1, he would have made $1,260,000. If he had a product that was, let's say he had a product that was $50, really reasonable price, right? $50 one-time payment. Let's say it was that. He would have made $63 million, almost as many as the views that he's gotten. You know what I'm saying? If he would have got, let me see, hold on. Give me 1 second. 126. So yeah, man, depending on what product you have, I don't know if what you sell is $10, $15. Like, I had this post. It was like 10 different ways to make $1 million. I gotta find it so I can read it to you guys. But it just broke down the number 1 million into so many different ways. But yeah. Some of these YouTubers, they're having paid subscriptions. They're like, yo, if you really like my channel, you could subscribe and pay $5 a month, something really low. But some of these people have 10 million subscribers. So I want to do another number with you, right? Imagine you have 10 million subscribers and you have 10% of those people. Let's say 10% of them giving you, no, make it a different number. Give me a second. So you got 10 million subscribers. Let's say 7%. 7's more reasonable. 10. So give me a second. 10 million subscribers times 0.07, right? 7%. So that's 700,000 people. Imagine you have 700,000 people paying you $5 a month. That means you're making $3.5 million a month. And these are donations. They're just giving it to you because they like your channel. $5 a month, right? $3.5 million a month on YouTube. You might be wondering, what the hell? Like, these people on YouTube, they're not selling a product. Like, how are they making so much money? Like, I think the top, the top paying position in this world is being a salesman, because there's no limit to the amount of products you could sell, digital products you could sell. You know what I'm saying? But you might think to yourself, they're not selling a product. They're selling their presence. They're selling their personality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw this one guy on YouTube the other day. He was doing Assassin's Creed videos. His name is DK Games, right? I haven't subscribed to his channel, but he sold me on the idea of, if I want to watch some good Assassin's Creed gameplay videos, I'll go to his channel because I know he'd be killing it on his channel. So he sold me on that, idea to check him out first when it comes to Assassin's Creed. So now if I want to, there's like 10 different Assassin's Creed games. If I want to look up a particular game, Assassin's Creed Unity, right? I would type in DK Games, because I know he's got a video on it, because like that's what his channel seems to mostly be about. So now if I ever subscribe, you know what I mean? Like, now I'll be notified of his videos. Now if I ever love his videos that much, where he's like, he puts out a video, yo, if you want to support me for $2 a month, $3 a month, I'll really appreciate it. Imagine if I get so much entertainment from this dude that it's an emotional connection where it's like, yo, I don't mind giving you $3. It's just $3. I don't mind giving you $3 a month. But that shit adds up when he has 700,000 people, doing that. So this is just an example, like, you know what I'm saying, of people that, everyone has a product, and the product is your personality. If you don't have a physical product, like religion, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying God is a product, but you are trying to sell people on why they should believe in God, right? Here's the way that we package that. We say, if you don't believe in God, you're going to hell. And we try to guilt trip people into making a buying decision, to, buying the belief system that, yeah, I need to do this. I need to be saved. I need to, using fear as the tactic, but you got to use certainty. Certainty is the best sales method. You're selling certainty, in every situation. Once people are certain, that's the only thing making an atheist person atheist, right? Uncertainty. What if, right? That's why they won't believe in God. Uncertainty. Once they're certain, would they not make the decision to transfer over to the other side of the fence? You see what I mean? So certainty is what sells, from what I've noticed, from what I've been. And you know who taught me this stuff? I watched the movie, right? The movie was called Wolf of Wall Street. You might have seen it. And it was based on a real guy named Jordan Belford. And he has training videos that are worth, it's a $2,000 course. I found every video for free on YouTube. And I found it because I looked for it. I typed in his name, Jordan Belford. He started talking about this straight line system, how to sell. If you're a salesman, you need to watch these videos. That's what he was saying. He was like, yo, I would advise this for every salesman. And he was talking about his product. So I started looking up, what the hell is the straight line system? So I looked it up. Yo, I found all 10 videos. One of them got deleted, and I'm so disappointed because I could have downloaded it from YouTube. But I got at least 9 of those videos now. And it's called the straight line system. And it talks about how to respect people. And it's crazy, yo, because the things that I learned in this video, I'm like, yo, this shit could save marriages. This shit could save friendships. This shit could save, you might be like, yo, how the hell can a sales video save a marriage? It's because he's talking about the psychology of what makes people, do certain things. But then he was also talking about the ethics. He was like, yo, this shit is so powerful that you can make people buy stuff that they shouldn't be buying because they're not qualified. They don't have the money. So you have to be ethical. You have to know if you're doing somebody he says only convert those that should buy, and they only should buy if they have the money, if they're qualified, and if they're the right fit for your company. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't just pick anybody. You don't take a person in Nigeria who's struggling, barely has $100, and try to sell him $1,000 product. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not, being a good salesman. So he's also teaching the ethics because he used to do it like in an unethical way. But anyways, so yeah, my bad for that. But getting back on topic, yo, please don't say that it's hard. Please don't say that it's difficult. Please don't say that you can't. I want to challenge you to let grace take you where it may. And what that means is you don't know what you're capable of until you start trying. Some of you wish you could do a backflip. Maybe you can I wouldn't advise going outside and just trying it. You have to train your body to be able to do one. You have to go to a gymnasium, right? And get an instructor. Mentorship is the number one thing that will teach you whatever it is that you wish to know. There's somebody who's a certified mentor in whatever you're doing, whatever you wish to do, maybe you want to be a better car salesman. Maybe you want to be a better lawyer. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that have digital courses. And here's the crazy thing, right? There's some courses, digital courses. I said courses, that's not a word, my bad. There's courses that cost like $150, $175. And we'll put so much scrutiny on that price. We'll be like, well, why is it $175? But you'll gladly throw $27,000 down the toilet and going to college. Like, how come you don't scrutinize that number? You don't scrutinize 27,000 because college has been sold to you. So now that you've been sold on college, now spending 27,000 sounds reasonable, but spending $175 sounds unreasonable. And there's only one reason: certainty. Because with college, you have a level of certainty that college students perform better, or they get better jobs, or they do this, because we've been sold on that. We've been sold on certainty. So now, since you're uncertain about some random dude on YouTube having a $175 course, I saw a course yesterday for YouTube. I might actually buy it. It's $250, but I saw a website that he said, for a limited time only, I'm selling my $250 course for $20. I'm like, shit, I got $20. I could do that. And I'm like, yo, why not buy it? I want to grow on YouTube. Why would I not try to take mentorship from people that know how to grow on YouTube? You know what I'm saying? There is a lot of free information. I know some of you are like, why the hell would you pay for information when there's Google and YouTube? And I hear what you're saying, but the thing is, if I buy the right product, if I buy from the right person, right? Assuming I buy from the right person, because there's a lot of people selling bullshit digital courses that does nothing for your life. But assuming that I get the right person, right? Whatever they learn in 10 years of business, I could learn in 3 weeks. No, hold on, excuse me. Whatever they learn in 10 years of business, I could get a good grasp on it in 10 weeks, right? I could condense 10 years worth of all the struggle they had to do, everything they learned. The reason people buy information now is because it saves you time. Because you having to figure out what it takes for your business, it might take you 10 years. It might take you 15 years. But you could limit that time by getting a $175 course. This is why people buy information. They buy it because it saves them the time that it would take to knock themselves upside the head and learn all these mistakes and learn all the things that they shouldn't be doing when they could have had a mentor teach it to them. You know what I mean? And you might be like, well, why don't people just give it away for free? I've heard this before too. You know, I've heard it from a person. He was like, "Yo, I could just give you my course for free, but if I give it to you, you won't value it. People value the shit that they pay for. Best believe if you spend $250 on a sales course, you're gonna value it so much more than if you just got it for free on YouTube because you spend $250. You're like, yo, this shit better work. I'm gonna apply this. I'm gonna do that because like now you're really like motivated and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. There was a guy who he really believes that he's doing people a disservice not charging. I know that shit sounds crazy because it's like, yo, you would think that you should, and everyone has a different philosophy on these things. But he was like, yo, you would think that if you really care about people, then give it away for free. But he was like, yo, people don't really value free things that much. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That was his logic for why he puts a price tag on his products. But anyways, so getting back on topic, of limiting belief systems. So I want you to know that another thing, right? If you have no faith, if you have no courage, right? If you don't believe you could do something, that might not even be your voice. You might be like, yo, how do I stop these voices from speaking so loudly? Or how do I stop these voices when it's my own voice, my own conscious mind, my own subconscious mind telling me that I can't? That might not even be your voice. That might be your conscious or your subconscious mind repeating you can't do it because you've heard that so many times from other people that you've now internalized the outside voices and it's became your inside voice and you think it's your voice when it came from outside. The only thing is you internalized it and you put your voice behind it when you speak to yourself. Now you think it's yourself telling you that you can't do stuff. The thing is you've heard that for years. Now you believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like now you believe that you can't do something because you've been sold on that belief system. Someone sold you a bag of shit and now you rationalize having a bag of shit. Now you rationalize having a shit life that you complain about and you rationalize, you know what I'm saying? Like you make sense of your failure. You know what I'm saying? Please don't let failure make sense to you. You know what I'm saying? Like get to the point where failure is not a choice. You have no option but to succeed, right? And when you reach for when you reach to become more for the sake of other people, there's so much more driving force behind your momentum to push you forward because you have other people like counting on you. I don't know if you have a daughter. I don't know if you have a son. I don't know if you have a family. But when the reason you want to become a better person becomes more than just for you, but like other people as well, now you have two things driving you for yourself, right? People will always go hard for themselves. But I notice people tend to go extra hard for someone else, and it seems to be instilled into our nature to be that way. I don't know why, but we will go hard. Sometimes you ever met somebody who they do so much for the next person? You do so much for the next person that you would not do for yourself. Why is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so can you imagine when, having mental fortitude, having a philosophy that makes your day go better, like, you know what I'm saying? Like having a mindset where even though circumstances suck, right? And you're not proud of the circumstances, but you've decided to be happy no matter what. Imagine when you're motivated to become that way so that you could be less of an emotional liability towards other people, less of an emotional burden towards other people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's people that used to run from you and now you developed a strong mind. Now people want to be around you. They want to know what the hell makes you so damn positive. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to repel people, man. Like I was kind of sinister. Like my boy Keith knows, like my Facebook statuses was not this damn positive 5 years ago. Like it was nothing but bitch this and cunt that and you need to kill yourself this and these type of people should die and negativity, man. You know why I focused on stupid shit? Because I mean I had goals, but my goals didn't mean as much to me as focusing on dumb shit. Focusing on dumb shit meant the world to me. Focusing on goals didn't mean the world to me. That's the only thing that makes me different now. Like I'd rather focus on things that, like, because if I had 10 to 15 minutes left to be alive, there's so many things that don't matter, man. It doesn't matter what someone's attitude was. It doesn't matter that I can't get any sales. It doesn't matter that, you know what I'm saying? Like, very few things matter. Like, and that's for me, it's my purpose. And am I going to heaven when I die? That's it. Like, did I do what I came to earth to do or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the things that matter. You know what I'm saying? So, give me a second. Sorry for my notifications. So, yeah, man. It's good to have goals. It's good to have goals that stretch you as a person. That you have to become more to achieve these goals. It's a good challenge. I have a really good video that I really want you guys to watch. It's called Jim Rohn: How to Take Charge Over Your Life. I'm gonna do a video of it later. I'm gonna do like a watch party. You guys are welcome to join if you want. And it's probably my second favorite video on YouTube. It's so like inspirational. It's more than just inspirational. It's tactical. You know what I'm saying? Like Jim Rohn's talking about his mentor, and his mentor asked him, yo, do you have any goals? Let me see your list of goals. Maybe that's the first thing I could do to help you. He said, well, I don't have a list. He was like, all right, well, maybe you left your list of goals in your car. He was like, no, I don't have a list anywhere. And then he was like, well, then that's the problem. Like, if you don't have a goal, then how are you going to reach it? He was like, if you don't have any goals, I could probably guess your bank account balance within a couple $100. And he said he successfully did that, and that caught his attention. And he was like, you mean to tell me my life would change if I had goals? And then he was like, yo, tremendously. It would change tremendously if you had goals, you know? So that day he became a student of making goals and why it's important to have goals. So simple things like that, like, you know what I'm saying? There's things that doesn't make life go so smoothly, and we wonder what these things are. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things that are revealed in that video that I just never thought about. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I would have never thought about had I not been seeking this type of information. There's so many people that ask how am I going to do it? It's none of your business how it's going to happen. What matters is that you are dedicated to the process. You don't need to know how you're going to get massively successful. You need to be dedicated to the idea of becoming massively successful. Be dedicated to the idea. Don't be dedicated to the how it's going to happen. Because when you need to know how, you get frustrated because you don't know how. And then you start not taking action because you think that you need to know how before taking action. A lot of the times in these podcasts, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what I'm going to say. I know things that are deep in me, like there's things that I'm passionate about. But I just, I write down a topic, and sometimes I don't even go near where I thought I was going to go with these topics. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I title it a certain way. My mind goes somewhere else, and I just, you know what I'm saying? But I know that ultimately there's a purpose behind all these things, all these podcasts. I know that someone's going to hear them and someone's going to benefit from them. So I don't dwell. I don't beat myself up about not staying on topic. I just know that whatever I say, it's going to bring some type of value. I believe that, you know what I'm saying? Because I've rid my own mind of all the things that don't bring me value. You know what I'm saying? I don't allow myself to think about things that's not good for me, So because of that, I'm comfortable going in whatever direction in my podcast, because I know whatever comes out of my mouth, it's going to give you value, because I've burned all the things that don't bring me value. You know what I'm saying? So I've become a better person because, other people matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's other people that suffer if I don't care about my potential. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest example of that is probably Jeff Bezos, the creator of Amazon. He has 6,000 people working for him. That's 6,000 people that would be without a job if it wasn't for him. And maybe not necessarily without a job. Maybe that's extreme, because these people could obviously go work somewhere else. But 6,000 people have a job, have an Amazon job, because this dude cared about creating Amazon. So that's crazy to me. The reason that's crazy to me is 6,000 people, you know what I'm saying? Their destiny hangs in a balance. Their fate hangs in a balance of one individual who cared about his potential. You know what I'm saying? So I have no idea if it's more than 6,000 people that are on the line if I don't care about becoming the best version of myself, if I don't care about being a motivational speaker, being a rapper, or being an entrepreneur, being a public figure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have no idea what hangs in a balance if I don't care about being the best version of me. And 4 years ago, I didn't care about that at all. I cared about posting negativity that didn't edify or encourage your day. And there's so many people that deleted me because of it. And it's crazy, because if they saw me now, they'd be like, yo, what the hell happened? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I don't know. I don't really delete anybody. I'm curious to see the process of people growing. I know that if you are a person I'm disgusted with today, which I have no interest in even viewing you in that light, but hypothetically, let's just say that you're someone whose behavior I'm disgusted with. I know that in 3 weeks that might change. You know what I'm saying? I know that 3 weeks I might end up being so proud of you. And if I throw your destiny out the window and take your actions personally and delete you on social media, then I'll never get a chance to experience that growth that you might have had in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Shit, something might happen to you tonight that makes you change the way you are completely. Like, change can happen overnight for some people. Some people struggle with that. They'd be like, yo, it's hard to change, or it's going to take too long to change. You know what I mean? Or, stuff like that. But change could happen rapidly. You know what I'm saying? Your mood, how quickly can your mood change? If you think a happy thought right now, how quickly can you get happy? If you think of your favorite memory of being alive right now, and if you're already in a bad mood, as quickly as you could think a new thought, you could have a new feeling, because your feeling is only directly linked to your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So if you're thinking depressing thoughts all day, then no wonder why you're depressed. You know, like you're cycling through thoughts that don't hold any like weight, you know, no positive weight anyways. They become a burden on your mind emotionally. Now you feel like you need a psychiatrist. Now you feel like you need pills. Now you feel like, you know what I'm saying? All these things, yo. Like when I was unhappy, I didn't need a fucking happy pill. I needed to realize that I don't need certain people to love me. Like my happiness is not contingent upon someone else loving me and telling me they value me. Cause for as long as I was thinking that, I was miserable all the time, all the time. You know what I'm saying? I want to share with you, you know what I'm saying? Keith, I showed you this one years ago, and this rhyme might sound familiar to you. But this is what my mind used to sound like when I was unhappy. When I had, here's what expectation sounds like, right? In the form of like a song. It's like, out of all the women that I met, she's the grimiest, but I would probably do anything to see her smiling, which is kinda sick. My friends would say I lost my mind a bit. I just try to think, but I'm in need of a psychiatrist. Unpredictable, there's no telling where this might have went. Constant arguments followed by peace and then we fight again. Constant on and off and then you leave and then I cry again. What is the point of this? I don't believe that we should try again. I'm protecting you, but would you ever come to my defense? Never neglecting you. My messages, you don't reply to it. I was expecting you to put the effort to deny this shit, cause when I told you I loved you, that's when you were the quietest. I was the person you trusted. I'm the one you confided in. I pulled you out of that pit of misery you were lying in. I kept you on track with your goals when you were losing sight of it. You told me your world was so dark and I'm the one who brightened it. But in spite of this, you were constantly acting like a bitch. Don't have the time for this and you try to tell me I'm childish. But in reality, you're the only one acting like a kid. So go ahead and leave. I won't even miss you the slightest bit. The things you recently did is the reasons I quit. We'll never be friends again. We'll never be speaking again. I'm putting an end to this cause all you do is leave me upset. Deleting your messages and hope I never see you again. I was there for you, but where were you whenever I needed a friend? I used to think we went together like a needle and thread. Whenever your problems affected you, I was protecting you. You try not to think of me. Don't you know I'm unforgettable? I'm highly nutritional. I'm like your vitamins, minerals. Kept you close and treated you decently. I have respected you, but you're keeping your distance when I try to get next to you. Can't even tell you that I'm surprised you're kind of predictable, but I'm finding this pitiful. You're spiteful and miserable. These are the reasons that I purposely tried to get rid of you, even though I previously promised you I wouldn't quit on you, but I'm keeping it honest. Don't know how to be friends with you, and you're extremely exhausted from me constantly texting you, probably upset at you, but you don't respond when I message you, and you seemingly treating me like I was invisible. Haven't you noticed that I've always been trying my best for you? How could you mess with me? When I trusted every word that you said to me, when other people was hurting you, I nurtured you mentally. Constant apologies for that you purposely said to me burdens me heavily. You are not the person that's meant for me. Used to admire you, thought that you were perfect and heavenly. Used to be close to you, now we almost certainly enemies. Thought that we was cool. Letting go is the hardest thing to do. A part of you was mine, and I would give a part of me to you. But you lied so much that it's becoming hard to see the truth. Can't even say a word, cause every time you talk to me, you're rude. You always run your mouth. This is just what you oftenly would do, but I'll just cut you off, and this is how we awkwardly conclude. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I used to sound like in my mind. Now that type of shit makes no sense to me. It makes no sense for me to put that much pressure on somebody to respond the way I need them to in order for me to be okay. It makes no sense for me to be an emotional liability to myself as well as everybody else around me. It makes no sense to like have that much expectation on a woman to like love me and respond to my messages and all that stuff, yo. Like, you know why I'm happy? Cause that shit doesn't make sense to me. When that type of thinking made sense to me, when it made all the sense in the world, I was nothing besides unhappy. And this is why I do these podcasts today, because either your thoughts serve you or they disturb you. I had thoughts that did nothing besides disturb me. I had thoughts that, you know what I'm saying? Like I had a bad day because of the way I think. It wasn't her fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, man. And if only I cared about my purpose, you know, if only I cared about whatever the best version of me is, whatever the best version of Robert is, if I cared about that, you know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, man, like having impact on people's life could have been as soon as 4th grade, man, 3rd grade, shit. I could have affected so many more people in high school, like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and hopefully a lot of these people are alive and they, you know, when I become a public figure, they'll hear about my story and it's not too late to still inspire these people. But I'm always going to wonder what could have been. So these are the things when I have children, I want to instill into them early, you know what I'm saying? So that impact can begin early in other people's lives, you know what I'm saying? I'm going through that low key, Rob. Yeah, man, I hear you. So I just used to relate to that dude and, you know, so yeah. Yo, Keith, if you have any questions, you know, you could tell me like live, you know, if, you know, or you can inbox to me if it's private. And, you know, just let me know. I'll answer them live. You know, if you have a specific question, because maybe there's something that you're going through now that I overcame, whatever it is. But whatever you heard in that rhyme, that's never going to make sense to me ever again. Because I know that all of that pain in that song It came from expectation. Now that I know that expectation is the reason I was so disappointed, I've gotten rid of expectation, yo. Like, yo, Keith, you know how we used to. We gotta talk about it later. I got you, bro. Yeah, anytime, dude. I'll message you my number after this podcast. But dude, yo, remember when we was on Tekken 5? Yo, people used to spaz when you hit them with a low move, like when you kicked their ankle. Like that drove people up the wall. It wasn't that action driving them up a wall, dude. It was the expectation that if I play you in Tekken 5, you're not allowed to bite my ankles. You know what I'm saying? You're not allowed to kick me low. You're not allowed to like hit me where I'm not defending myself. And it's like, bro, just become a better Tekken player. And it doesn't matter what someone else is doing. People used to hate Biggie Shaq, yo. You know why? It wasn't because he grabs people to death. It's because they think they have a criteria that he's violating. They think that he doesn't have the right to play video games the way that he wants to. That's why, you know what I'm saying? So you see how I could break the way I think I could break it down into any scenario, because this shit applies to everything. Like they didn't hate Biggie Shaq. They hated their own. They were disappointed because of their expectations. You know what I'm saying? Because they thought that he wasn't allowed to grab. You need to fight me ethically. Whatever their idea of ethics are, and they made up their own rules. And when you come into my room, you can't do these things. You know what I'm saying? You can't grab. You know? I used to like, I'm one of the few people that liked playing Biggie. He used to kick my ass in that game, yo. But I know that I had to be a better fighter to beat him consistently. I had to be, he used to beat me with the same shit over and over and over. Yo, I came to the conclusion, and I got a funny story to tell you about that, yo. It's funny. I came to the conclusion that if you kick my ass with the same move over and over, then I need to become a better fighter. It's not you that needs to stop spamming me to death, because, like, Keith, you would agree in basketball, like, if you're part of a team, the coach would say, if you keep running the same play, it keeps working, keep running the same play. If they don't defend you at the 3-point line, keep shooting threes. If they don't defend this type of layup, keep doing that type of layup. You know what I mean? Like, the coach would always advise, do the shit that's working. And if it's not working, come up with a new strategy. Every basketball coach would agree with that philosophy. You know what I'm saying? But I think that shit is deeper than basketball. That shit applies to life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because when these people are playing Tekken and money is on the line, best believe you better defend those grabs. You better duck or something. Like, people biting your ankles, they kicking you low. You better learn how to block. Like, because if not, you're not going to get $10,000 from that tournament. Somebody else is. You know what I'm saying? And these people play cheap as hell when money is on the line. Like, I'm sure you've seen some of these tournaments. Like, some of them are entertaining to watch. Some of them I can't watch because it's just a spam session of throwing Hadoukens back and forth and people picking Ryu or people picking Chun-Li and spamming to death. Like, but I know why they do it. They do it because money's on the line. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But I got a funny story about freaking Biggie Shaq to tell you, dude. Like, it made me laugh. Like, one time he called Sony because they was turning off the Tekken 5 servers, and I don't know if he plays his game still, dude, but it's funny. He was he got mad. What's up, Alvin? They was turning off the Tekken 5 servers, right? And he called them and he was like, why are you turning off the servers? Like, I love this game. They was like, yo, well, nobody plays the game. And he was like, what do you mean nobody plays it? Me and my 3 friends play it. And it's like, bruh, that's exactly what they mean. Nobody plays it. You and your 3 friends, like, that's like nobody to them. Like, yo, but he felt so justified in saying that. He was like, yo, what do you mean no one plays it, man? Me and my 3 friends, we play it all the time. Like, and yo, like, I don't know, man. So I thought maybe that'd make you laugh though. But like, when he told me that story, I was dying. I was like, bruh, you gotta understand, to the company that is nobody. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, yo, getting back on topic. When you say it's hard, right? When you say it's difficult, I can't. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna prevent you from getting to where you want to be, man. And I really want all of you had different goals. I don't know what your goals are. I pray to God you get to them. I pray to God you reach them. But there's limiting belief systems out here that are crippling us from taking action. And we think the circumstance needs to be better before we take action. That's not true, man. Like, your mind needs to be better. Once your mind is better, circumstance is better. Because once your mind is better, you won't even care how circumstance is going. You know what I'm saying? Biggie Shift Beats. Yeah, he's funny, man. It's pretty funny. But yeah, there's people in the Bible that as they were getting whipped, as they were getting beaten, they're singing praises to the Lord. And it's only because they're not taking circumstance personally, because they love God no matter what. Even if you take my life today, God still love you. You know what I'm saying? That's powerful. The devil can't even do anything to you anymore when you're alive for your purpose, to do whatever you're supposed to do, and only that. When you're no longer alive to complain. Some of you wonder why you're unhappy. If you spend 2 hours a day complaining, that's why you're unhappy. And the reason you complain is because you found the things that you focus on that you're ungrateful for, and you've made that the target of your mind. You know what I'm saying? And you might be like, yo, why does this always happen? Like, some of you can't stand it when you scroll through Facebook and somebody posts an unreasonable status or something that you consider unreasonable, but it's perfectly reasonable to them, because every man within his own mind, his own thoughts make sense to him. You know what I mean? So as unreasonable as it seems for them to post that, they think it makes sense. And they think that now you're going to get on their posts and attack them. And they think that you're just being a judgmental person that doesn't care to understand them. And then they delete you or whatever, or they block you. And then you post something that's like, man, I tell you about yourself and you want to block me? Fine. Like, and now you're bitter. And then now that happens 100 other times. And you're like, why does this always happen? It always happens because you're focusing on that. Why do you focus on what other people post on social media? Who cares? Like, what does that have to do with your potential? What does it have to do with, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you have a daughter, you have a son, you know what I mean? They want shit for Christmas. Like, don't you, and maybe they've been really good in school. Don't you want to focus on trying to get them something, or find a way how you're going to make more money, instead of focusing on who's posting what and who's subliminally saying this about me? And you know what I'm saying? And one more thing I want to say, for those of you that take subliminal messages personally, when you meet people that don't like you, it's not you that they don't like. It's your mindset. The reason I know it's your mindset is because if your mindset changed, your behavior would change. And if your behavior changed, then you probably wouldn't even be the person they're complaining about anymore. If they don't like you, there's like 500 million other people in this world that they would be positioned to not like as well, because they would have the same mindset as you. And if they were introduced to anybody else who even slightly resembles you in terms of philosophical belief systems, right? Anyone who thinks the same way you do, they wouldn't like that person either. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand, when Christians, when they hate the devil, they hate anybody that thinks like him. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much, like, like, what is the devil besides a way of thinking? A cynical, evil way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Because the way you think dictates the pace of your actions. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't think cynical, you wouldn't be cynical. And if you wasn't cynical, people that complain about you probably wouldn't complain. You see what I mean? So yeah, man, whenever you read a subliminal status and you swear someone's talking about you, it's not you that they don't like. It's anybody who slightly resembles you in mindset. You know what I'm saying? Because if you changed their mindset towards you, their complaining towards you would change as well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. When people are acting funny, I don't take their what they do personally, because I know that they have potential to be better, and they might not know that. You know what I'm saying? And if I spend all this time taking them personal, they won't. If I waste my time taking you personally, then I'm gonna attack what you're doing instead of telling you that you could be better. And you'll never know that you could have been better, because nobody ever told you that. Nobody was ever able to look past the offenses that you do. You know what I'm saying? People can't get over how offensive you're being. That's because they focus on offense. You know what I'm saying? Which means they're broken. Like, they don't have goals, probably. They don't have, like, when you have a YouTube channel and Saggy Pants 99 gets on there and is like, yo, you're terrible at YouTube, you need to close your account today. That person doesn't have goals, probably, man. Like, the fact that someone would even have time to consume your content and then be negative as hell towards it, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does that say about that man's life, about his goals, about his disposition, about his bank account balance? Like, there's no, like, I doubt if anybody's saying that has $50,000 in their bank account. Any of them, I doubt it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's another crazy thing. Like, there's a lot of rich people that are so damn positive, right? And a lot of poor people. And, for every blanket statement, for every stereotype, there's obviously people that don't match the description. So, and what I'm about to say sounds like a blanket statement, but there's a lot of, there's a lot of people within poverty that they're very negative, very cynical, very, you know what I'm saying? Like, not all of them. I know that positive people exist. Someone's like, yo, man, not everybody's like that. I get it. But, and then you might be like, yo, well, the people that are rich, they have a reason to be positive. They have so much fucking money. That's why they're positive. Nah, they probably have a good mindset too. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I see an entrepreneur that he's physically built, you know what I mean? And he's he works out like so much, and he's, and he has like a $1 million company. That shit makes sense to me, cause like he's disciplined, and like, I don't know, man, like something about working out, it makes you want to do other shit. Like, it makes you want to, like, like, you ever, like, I used to jog a lot. You ever jog and then when you're done, you feel tired, but you feel like really good, man. Like, it releases a lot of like negative energies. Working out is amazing, but I've noticed a lot of entrepreneurs that have a lot of money, they're also physically fit. They're also, a lot of them are happy in their marriages. A lot of them are like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I know people say money doesn't matter and shit like that, but it's like, bruh, money does matter. Because if I told you to close your bank account right now, give me all your money, quit your job, you would never do that. Therefore, it's important. Like, so anyways, yeah, man. So please don't limit yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, please believe in your potential, believe that things are possible, and no matter how loud circumstances screaming at you, telling you that things are not possible, because you look at how it is, and then you look at how hard it is to get out of that, and then you think that you can't do something. Like, but like I said, 95% of people that are successful, they came from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got to just believe, because it's better to believe and then be wrong than it is to not believe and for you to undercut yourself because you sold yourself a bag of shit. And you could have been so much more, but you didn't allow yourself to let grace take you wherever it may. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I think about people who maybe in the last 2 years, they could have made $400,000. They could have, but they have no idea that they could have because they make 75,000 and they've settled at that number and they're complacent. You know what I mean? You know how many people think that they're a good person? Every fucking person thinks that they're a good person. Some of the most evilest, treacherous, communistic people think they're good people, man. Like, every man before the mirror thinks he's a good person. You know how many people use "I'm a good person" as a reason not to develop themselves more? So what if you're a good person? You don't want to be better? You don't think there's a level beyond that you could extend to be a better version of you? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, for Christian people, right? That's why for them Jesus is the standard. And that's why until they die, they're always reaching for a higher potential, for a higher level. Because if they get complacent with thinking they're a good person, they don't grow ever. They just stay where they are and they don't have to adapt any new philosophies. They don't have to learn anything else. They don't try to like listen to new podcasts and like, so I'm always trying to develop myself. I'm always looking for things, I might say shit today in this podcast that I don't agree with, 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, you know what I'm saying? So that's another reason I don't take people's words personally. Cause I'm only speaking to the current version of yourself. Who you are now, you might not even be that person in 2 months. You might have a life event that changes you completely. So that's why I don't even make time to get mad at you for whatever comes out of your mouth that I might perceive to be stupid, because this is only the current version of yourself, and you're not limited to what you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the greatest things my stepdad ever taught me, he said, when you see a bum in the street, he says, that man, he's not a bum, he's a man. He's a man first before he's a bum, and I want you to respect him as being such, as being a man. He's just in a bad circumstance. He's going through some shit. You don't know the reasons why he got put through what he's put through, but he's no less of a man than you are just because you have food in your refrigerator and he doesn't even have access to one. You know what I mean? Like, don't you dare look down on people that are doing worse than you, and shit almost made me cry because it's just real, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, so for me, I just want to view all people in that light. Everybody's worth something, regardless of how they're living. You might be like, yo, how can people have all these potential and they live less than? They just don't see it. They don't believe it, maybe. If they believe better, they would live better. Some people say if you knew better, you do better. Sometimes I question how real that is, because I know better in so many departments and I'm not doing better in certain areas, even though knowing better. Yo, you know how much money I spent on training courses on how to be a better entrepreneur, how to make sales, and yet I still made $37 in sales this year, or 40, 45, less than 50 for sure. I don't know how much money I made in sales. It's less than $50. Why is that? How the fuck I spend $600 on training courses and make $60 in sales? It's not because the training courses I bought suck. It's because I suck as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the reason why. So, yeah, man. Give me a second. I suck at, I'm good at consuming content, but I have to become what I consume. To the Christian, it's very easy to quote scripture, but are you becoming what you quote? Or are you only quoting scripture because you think other people need to become what you're quoting? There's so many people that won't become what they read. But when you become what you read and you become, like, Jesus didn't just preach a sermon, he was the sermon. You know what I'm saying? You know how powerful that is? Because otherwise, if he just preached it and lived a life less than, he'd seem like a hypocrite, just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's a reason, like I said in previous podcasts, that people gravitated towards him. You know what I mean? People wanted to be around him constantly. It's crazy how the people that represent Jesus, people run away from those people. Why is that? The energy level is not the same. Like we emit different energy than what he emitted. You know what I'm saying? It's because we focus on people's flaws and what's wrong with people. You focus on reasons to complain about somebody rather than trying to focus on what their potential could be. And you might be like, yo, well, some people just have no good qualities about them. Yeah, but doesn't mean you have to dwell on their bad qualities, because if they knew who they were, they'd be different people. You know what I'm saying? Like if they knew what they were capable of, if they knew the upsides, you might wonder why people are so damn selfish. It's because they don't know the benefits of being selfless. If they knew the benefits, they'd be selfless. But everyone's looking for a short-term ROI. ROI means return on investment. You know what I'm saying? Like you might wonder, yo, how come every time it's payday, every time it's Friday, my friends call me and then they ask me for money like Saturday or something, or they call me to make it seem like they're trying to build some type of rapport. But I know why they're calling me, because they know I get paid today. They want to borrow some money. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that? Why do people do that? You know, they don't realize that if they kept a good relationship with you, you'd probably be more willing to loan them money. You might know somebody who you know from your high school from 10 years ago who it's been 10 years. They haven't lifted a finger to see how you're doing or do anything for you or be there for you in no type of way. 10 years pass of silence. Now they're in a crisis. Now they call your number. You know how, the temptation to not want to give them money is going to be high. Why? Because you haven't built rapport with them. There's no relationship. It's just, you think you're going to just get money out of me, But if it's been 10 years and you guys typically talk all the time, let's say, and not every day, but let's say, y'all talk like, 6, 7 times a year. And all those times that you talk, you're super excited to talk to that person. You're super excited to see what they got going on, to hear their stories. Like you really love this person. Because of the love, don't you realize how much more people will do for you? How much quicker they will be to give you a loan? You know why people won't give you a loan after 10 years of silence, even though they went to high school with you? Because there is no love. There is no connection. You're a stranger to them. Even though they know you, you're a known stranger. That's what you are. You're a person from high school. You just so happen to have shared the same math class together, the same algebra science class together. And now you think because of that, someone should give you a loan. It's like, bruh, but you build no relationship. You build no rapport. People go hard for people they love, man. You want people to go hard for you, you have to be somebody they love. And I'm not saying to mold your image into something that other people love, but just, be yourself, whatever that is, in God. Like find your identity in God and be whatever that is, and the right people will gravitate towards you. But, people will go hard for those that they really care about, I've been telling a story lately and, I had somebody undercut me on money for something. And now after they undercut me, and they was talking crazy and stuff. And now they want another favor and stuff. And it's like, bruh, don't you know? Like, instead of, if you paid me $100 for a feature instead of $20, don't you know that I'd be more willing to answer your phone calls? I'd be more willing, because you wouldn't feel like you're wasting my time. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't feel like a complete waste of my time, So I don't know. That's why, like, if I'm ever trying to get a favor from somebody, I'm always thinking about what I'm getting out of you. How much is it worth? And I try to offer that price, whatever it might be, because I don't take people's favors for granted. You know what I'm saying? And I know that the best way for me to incentivize you to want to do something for me is if I pay you money. And I know some of you hate that, but that's the way the world works. So the way to be a genius is to figure out how the world works and then, do it that way. Do things that way according to the way the world works. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like getting what you want, there's certain ways to get what you want, but you got to know what those rules are. And you got to, instead of hating the rules, there's people that hate God, they hate the Bible, they hate this world, they hate the way things are, and I politely remind them, dude, when you make your own planet, when you create your own galaxy, then you can make your rules. But until then, just learn the rules the way they are. You know what I'm saying? And then follow those. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to like the rules, but you should at least get to know them, get to know the way things work. So yeah, man. Give me a second. So, yeah, man. Because, complaining about politics doesn't change politics. Complaining about Trump doesn't change Trump. Complaining about left versus the right or communism, like, doesn't change these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when you meet people that have crazy ass philosophies, calling them stupid for them thinking the way they do doesn't change them either. It makes them want to call you stupid for you thinking the way you do, or just because you call them stupid. And it's just a war back and forth. That's not how you change people. You change people with kindness and respecting their free will and telling them your belief system, right? But not making them feel obligated that they should listen to what you have to say. Those are what the desperate marketers are doing. Imagine a marketer comes to your door right now, tries to sell you a vacuum cleaner. You don't want his vacuum cleaner. You already got one. And even though yours is dusty as hell in comparison, maybe his vacuum cleaner is better than yours. Imagine this dude now proceeds to call you stupid because you don't want to buy his crap. You know what I'm saying? You know how quickly you're going to slam the door on his face? This is what we're doing to people in conversation. We're hearing people's philosophies and just calling them straight up stupid instead of trying to be empathetic and realize that there's a series of things that made a person believe what they do. I don't think Muslim people are stupid. I don't think Buddhist people are stupid. Jewish people are stupid. I just know that indoctrination is the only thing that would make a man believe what he does. It's because, Jewish people, maybe they grew up in an all Jewish family. You know what I'm saying? Like Middle Eastern people, they have thoughts that make sense to them because of the indoctrination of their environment. Because I understand these things, I don't think anybody's stupid for believing anything. I just know that, they've been conditioned to be a certain way. And the only way to drop an indoctrination is to get re-indoctrinated in the right way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? If you've been brainwashed a certain way, you have to rewash your brain, basically. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the only way to change, is to adopt new philosophies and stuff like that. So anyways, so if I have time, let me see. Something I want to show you. I don't know how much time I have. Let me see. I got 8%. I was going to read you something, but I probably don't have the time to read. I was going to read you like a rhyme or something. Actually, yeah, I want to read you this. I really want to read you this. And if my phone starts dying, I'll just grab my charger. But here's a song, right? It's a good song, but I remember I cried writing the song because I felt, felt bad writing it. So I'm gonna read this to you, and I know this is something a lot of you could relate to. So I'm gonna just go into it. I'm not gonna spend time explaining it. I don't have much time, but so it's like. Sometimes I'll be thinking about what a remedy I've been to the lives of the friends that I vibe with. Our friendship is timeless, but I don't think it's meant to be like this because it's extremely one-sided. Their lack of effort makes me empty inside, and it would seem as if every time that I would get in a crisis, a lot of emotional attention is never provided by friends in my life. And God, I know my strength is your guidance, but I'm getting uptight when no one gives a gesture of kindness. They tell me it's pride, and it might be true. I guess I should fight it. I guess I'm reminded of all my efforts, everything I did, the energy invested in trying to settle their minds when my friends have been spiraling downwards and the stress has been rising. They never would give me the same amount of effort that I bring, which is why when they tell me they need me, I'm never excited. Instead of relying on humans to be helping when I slip, I guess I should try to be expecting much less than what I give. I know 1,000 people, but feel like none of them know me. Some of them homies, some of them just front, but they phonies. Instead of supporting, they would rather run and disown me. I'm struggling low key, but none of them will come to console me. At the psychiatric facility, none of them wrote me. None of them told me, Rob, I will be the one that is hoping you mustered the code when stuff gets emotional and you're broken. I love you, just know that you do not have to suffer alone. I know 1,000 people, but feel like none of them know me. Some of them homies, some of them just front, but they phonies. Instead of supporting, they would rather run and disown me. I'm struggling low key, but none of them will come to console me. At the psychiatric facility, none of them wrote me. None of them told me, Rob, I will be the one that is hoping you mustered the code when stuff gets emotional and you're broken. I love you, just know that you do not have to suffer alone. I started to see through their fake personas. All of these people who forward your phone calls, having the nerve to call when they need you, then they yell your name with excitement at the mall when they see you, talking about how you've been doing, Rob, like it's always been peaceful. The irony is, hold on, give me 1 second. Phone dying. All right, I'm gonna start at the second verse, and I'll explain to you why I'm reading this to you in a second. All right, so I started to see through their fake personas. All of these people who forward your phone calls, having the nerve to call when they need you, then they yell your name with excitement at the mall when they see you, talking about how you've been doing, Rob, like it's always been peaceful. The irony is, when I need you, you'll likely be missing when I need a friend, but then get mad when I seem disinterested in opening your mail or even replying to them. But you would never even consider me when I'm in distress. It's tougher to live with the guilt of knowing what you committed. It wasn't sufficient effort put into what you envisioned. I never was able to picture me becoming a victim with a bunch of excuses as to why there's something that's missing. And people only seem to help when there's something of interest. If there's something they gain from helping you, they'll come in an instant. I know we ain't friends for based on the love that was missing. Our friendship is so fragile that it could crumble in minutes. I know 1,000 people, but feel like none of them know me. Some of them homies, some of them just front, but they phonies. Instead of supporting, they would rather run and disown me. I'm struggling low key, but none of them will come to console me. At the psychiatric facility, none of them wrote me. None of them told me, Rob, I will be the one that is hoping you mustered the code when stuff gets emotional and you're broken. I love you, just know that you do not have to suffer alone. I know 1,000 people, but feel like none of them know me. Some of them homies, some of them just front, but they phonies. Instead of supporting, they would rather run and disown me. I'm struggling low key, but none of them
will come to console me. At the psychiatric facility, yo, none of them broke me. None of them told me, Rob, I will be the one that is hoping. You muster the core when stuff gets emotional and you're broken. I love you, just know that you do not have to suffer alone. Last verse. I was so lonely. Those I loved, they tried to control me, telling me to follow them instead of follow my own dream. We not even close, we probably growing apart. Nobody knows me but God. I wish someone said, I'm proud of you, homie. I got religious friends that they try to control my opinion, using the Bible to tell me how I'm supposed to be living. They openly give their opinion and I don't even listen. I don't think you're Christian just because you could quote me the scriptures. Plus you scrutinize me every single chance that you get, lacking respect that's needed to be compatible friends. The path that I went, you prayed for my fall and laughed at the end, saying I told you so, you should have listened, and that's what you get. Plus I got some friends that only show up when they need to borrow, plus they wouldn't even ask me what's wrong when they see me heartbroke. I learned that the biggest smiles are hiding the deepest sorrows, and every day the only thing I pray is I see tomorrow. I know 1,000 people but feel like none of them know me. Some of them homies, some of them just front but they phonies. Instead of supporting, they would rather run and disown me. I'm struggling low-key, but none of them will come to console me. At the psychiatric facility, oh, none of them wrote me. None of them told me, Rob, I will be the one that is hoping. You muster the core when stuff gets emotional and you're broken. I love you, just know that you do not have to suffer alone. I know 1,000 people but feel like none of them know me. Some of them homies, some of them just front but they phonies. Instead of supporting, they would rather run and disown me. I'm struggling low-key, but none of them will come to console me. At the psychiatric facility, yo, none of them wrote me. None of them told me, Rob, I will be the one that is hoping. You muster the core when stuff gets emotional and you're broken. I love you, just know that you do not have to suffer alone. So yeah, man. So I'll leave you with that poem. I was super broken hearted when I wrote it, and it's just good to know that those thoughts, I don't have them anymore. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't care if I know 1,000 you and it feels like none of you know me. Some of you homies, some of them but you phonies. Like, who cares, man? Like, fucking all I care about now, like, there's things I need to fulfill before I die, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? But these are the things that I focused on. And, you know, I know it sounds like good lyrics, sounds like a good song, you know, good melody, good whatever. But when I used to think like this, I was just brokenhearted, man. You know what I'm saying? All the time, you know. And by the first verse, you know, I was like, man, I was weighing the pros and cons of doing good things for people. It was like, yo, I'll do this for you, and what do you do back for me? Nothing. Like, and then I would get bitter because I do so much for you, and then you underdeliver, and then it led to me having a nasty attitude towards you, and then it took me an avenue away from God, like, you know, because the way I started to see you wasn't the way that God sees you. And then I would have friends that cheer me on in an avenue outside of God's heart. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh, well, they put you through that? Well, I know exactly how you feel. Man, I would have felt the same. I would have reacted like this. You think you underreacted? Nah, man, you should have overreacted, man. You should cut these people off. You should do this. You should treat them that way. You should give them, you know what I'm saying? Like, it led to, like, then when I would tell these stories, people would make me feel justified being the way I am because they would have reacted the same way. It doesn't matter how other people would have reacted if it's not the best way to react. You know what I'm saying? And I want to leave you with what I consider to be one of the best philosophies I ever heard in my life, where a guy said, here's what I like about this philosophy. It transcends past religion. It comes to the point where it doesn't matter what you believe. It's just how to be a good human being. He said, live your life in a way that benefits you first, but also in a way that benefits your household, but also in a way that benefits your state, your nation, and also in a way that benefits the whole entire planet. And that the reason that transcends religion is because it doesn't matter what your religion is. When you live in a way that benefits you first, but also that benefits everybody else, you care about becoming the best version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like the Jeff Bezos out there, they care about becoming an Amazon figure and having, 6,000 employees. Like, he lived in a way that benefited himself first, his Amazon project. It also benefits 6,000 other people. It also benefits the whole world. You see what I mean? Like, this shit transcends culture. Like, it transcends social norms. Like, it makes it to the point where if you see a man starving in the street, you couldn't walk past him without having a conviction in your heart that you would want to give him money or take him to the store so he could have something to eat. Because when you live in a way that benefits you first, but also in a way that benefits your neighbor and the whole planet, your whole nation, your whole state, like, where you're from, like, everybody, then selfishness isn't an option anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's just, of course you want to preserve yourself. And also, I want to leave you on a final note. This is really the last one. It's something powerful I saw in a video that you can see on my timeline if you scroll through my stuff. But there's a guy, his name is Prince EA. Prince EA is his name. He's a motivational speaker type dude. He has a lot of 2-minute, 3-minute clips, really short videos about mindset type stuff on his YouTube channel. But he had a video that says, why is it that when you're in an airplane and they drop the oxygen mask, They say secure your mask first before you secure the mask of a toddler or your child. It's because if you pass out, you're going to be of no use to anybody else. Some of you are dying in your finances, dying in your emotional relationships, dying in your marriages, your relationships with your kids, and you're trying to hold the burden of everybody else who comes around you with the same problems, trying to help them, but you're dying. And you're of no use to anybody else if you pass out. That's why in the airplane, when they drop those oxygen masks, they say secure your mask first before you try to secure somebody else's mask. Because if you secure a toddler's mask, let's say there's a couple toddlers around you, you secure one mask and then you pass out. Now there's three other toddlers, three other kids, four other kids to suffer because you could have helped those people too. But now you can't because you're passed out on a plane, not being able to do anything to help anybody else. So it's not a selfish thing to secure your own mask first. Some of you feel selfish looking after yourself first before other people. You know what I'm saying? There's actually a scripture in the Bible that says, love your neighbor as yourself. Never once does it says, love your neighbor more than yourself. It doesn't say that. But some of you interpret it that way. And if you never realized that it doesn't say that, go back to that scripture where it says, love your neighbor as yourself, which means to the same degree that you love yourself. You know, not 1 degree more or less. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah. And I think the best way to love yourself is in a way that benefits your household, the planet, like, you know what I'm saying? That helps other people. And yeah, man. So it's a philosophy that I was really impressed with. It was said by Jordan Peterson. If you're struggling with your mental health, I would definitely advise listening to a couple people. I'm gonna give you a list of names to write down and then I'm out. Number 1 is definitely Gary Vee. The screenshot of this podcast, that's his Instagram. Really good dude, man. He taught me how to stop complaining. That's the greatest lesson I ever learned in my life. Because when I was complaining, I wasn't happy. When I was complaining, I wrote songs like the song I just showed you. Some of them, you know, I know 1,000 people, but feel like none of them know me. That song is nothing but me whining about not getting circumstances to be the way that I want them to be. So, yeah, inner peace happens when you're not alive for your criteria to be met. You know, when you're not alive for those things only, then yeah, man, life's amazing when you wake up and you try to become the best version of yourself and help as many people as you can. And those list of names that I want you to write down, if you don't mind, Gary Vee, Vee. He could be found on YouTube and Instagram. Jim Rohn, definitely. He'd probably be number 1, actually. Jim Rohn. His last name is spelled Rohn. Really good dude. I've learned a lot of good things from him. Tony Robbins is a big one, and as well as Dan Mohler. These are the names I want you to write down. Dan Mohler, his last name is spelled Mohler. And so yeah, man, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I'm about to get up out of here. I've been here super long. Hope I added value. And yeah, man, see you on the next one. Take care.